I guess I'm the one doing this show today. I guess. All right. Well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Popcorn Chicken. Usually Justin does this. I don't know why he put me on the spot, but it's
You
okay.
said you wanted to say hi to everyone first.
Oh, I was gonna say hi to him when you introduced me, but it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. Well, we might as well bring the other gentleman on too here, Mr. Indiana Jones Jr. right here. How's it going, guys?
Wonderful.
I got some goodies to.
Not bad.
So I'm gonna go be right back in a minute. I'm just gonna grab my food, but I just got a giant box of goodies to, us to give away.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm gonna open that, show some stuff like that. But yeah, welcome to the Bad Batch. Not us, the Bad Batch show, but we are. Some say we are a bunch of Bad Batch.
Sure.
But I guess they're meaning in a different way, probably. Good show, bad show. I don't know. We'll see. I got some things to unpack about it. I know you guys do too. And then stay tuned for the after hours where we just kind of go off on tangent on whatever we watched or whatever we want to talk about. So after
we'll
we
probably
finish,
talk about more Last of Us.
Oh man, I'm still digesting that.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I will be back, but you guys can just kind of start right now. I'll be right back.
All right. Well then, welcome to Popcorn Chicken. Grab a bev. Nathan, what are you consuming?
Well, I'm finishing off a little bit of wine in a whiskey glass. Classy, I know. But
Double
also,
classy.
I also have a cider here, which I am trying to finish out of the fridge before it's too late. Not before it expires. I just feel like, it's something to have.
Extra unpleasant.
Yeah, my friend came back from Hawaii and he brought me these, but I haven't put them in the fridge yet, so they're still warm.
What is they?
Kona Brewing. They're golden ale from Kona Brewing, but it's not cold yet. So I thought, well, I will have something that is cold for now. And what about yourself?
Cold and refreshing. Yeah. Just a bog standard old mill.
Yes. It's strange. It's more popular than I would have thought.
Old Milwaukee?
Yeah.
It's because they're cheap.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
They're like
fair enough.
But a couple cents more than PBR and a couple cents more than Sneaky Weasel. But they're the least offensive cheap beer, which means they don't taste like anything. So
fair enough. I've been trying to get into some more European beers. I shamefully regret to say I've only had my first Kronenberg Blanc like a week or two ago. I had never had one before.
Really?
Yeah.
And what'd you think?
So it was good. I've had some people complain to me about them. They're like, "Oh, I don't like them adding anything to my beer." It's like I could barely like it has citrusy notes, but I've tasted beers that taste identical to this before, and people praised it because they're like, "Wow, look, they actually, this beer is perfect for summer." Instead, I had a couple people complain about Kronenberg Blanc because it says with citrus added, and I don't think that's too big of a deal unless you're really trying to praise the people that brew it.
Yeah, but like there's seasonal beers for a reason. Like I don't want chestnut ale all the time, and it's like, all right, when it's snow outside, I want a chestnut ale. When it's warm outside, I want something with lime or citrus in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, now that we've gotten that settled, Elvin's not back. Shall we start the Bad Batch?
So the Bad Batch is episode 4. And this episode felt much more like the last season to me. The first 2 episodes were very much, hey, here's these people. They remember them. They've been on this island for however long since you've seen them last. And then, so it was like an establishing kind of 2 episodes. Again, we kind of touched on Keystone Light was my dirt cheap beer. Yeah, Keystone, or Natty. There's so many. They're all just like neutral, unoffensive corn water, and that's what you want. And but yeah, so then the first two episodes were, like we said before, kind of a part one, part two. And
Yeah.
then the third episode was just like, all right, time for some heavy shit. Ready to talk about like
Beautiful.
veterans' rights and the decline of civilization when a new power comes in, and you're just like, shit, this is a kid show. And then this one was very much like, oh yeah, that's right, it is a kid show, because it was like, now time for the fun one. And there's like,
Yeah.
it is an important story bit, but it's like at the end of the episode, and it's just like, this could have been a scene, this whole episode. And yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
They're
was
like pod racing episode, and you're like, okay.
Now this is pod racing.
The only
Okay,
thing
I will. Here's my little complaint though.
Mhm.
I know when I was watching this episode and I saw they're going to that like racing arena and I saw the pods, I thought, okay, this better be pod racing, because I've got a bit of an issue with a lot of things like Star Wars or Harry Potter or whatever. They've got so much lore already.
Yeah.
So much of the world's been built.
And then they're like,
we're brought,
it's like this, but different.
yeah, and instead of just using something that we already kind of know, we don't even need to know it super well. It can just be something that was referenced in the past. Or I thought either, okay, pod racing, nope, wasn't pods. And then I thought, what was that one from the Old Republic? Swoop bikes. I thought, oh, is this like a swoop bike race? No. So this
Swoop
is like one of the
gangs
few
and
complaints I
swoop
have.
bikes were the coolest thing. And
Oh
like
yeah.
that was one cool thing in Book of Boba Fett. Like, you got to see a swoop gang and like the Nikto speeder gang. And I'm not talking about the Skittle Brigade, whatever.
Yeah,
fuck.
no,
The mods or whatever.
the ones going around that got killed by Boba Fett later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one where he goes like John Wick on their ass.
That was such a good scene.
And
it just shows the guys down on the ground, and then just kind of out of the sky growing, you just see Slave One get closer and blow the shit out of them. Love that. That was so good.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, there's swoop bikes, there's swoop racing, and even in KOTOR, it was, what was that? That there was a racing. Was that a swoop?
They did, but it was a straight. No, it wasn't. It was a straight line, so no turns.
It was. It was like a drag race, essentially.
What's it called? Was it swoop racing?
I think it might have been.
It was different because it's not like this was straight.
It was a drag race. Racing. Yeah, that's what it was called. But yeah, they've got swoop racing and they got pod racing, and that's essentially just like Formula. Well, I can't really compare it to much. It's kind of, this one was much more NASCAR-esque, and it was like, all right, it's not a bike, it's a little speeder thing, and now there's guns on it. But like, at no point were any guns useful or like did anything. And so like there wasn't nearly as much danger with this, because it was just like, you've already shown me pod racing, which is just like, we took two fucking jet engines and like put a rope on a chair, fucking go. And then you're like, holy shit, this is crazy. And then they dedicated 20 minutes of a movie to this race where everyone fucking dies in a fiery ball of death. And then every character is like losing their mind about telling people how dangerous it is. And it's a huge deal that like Anakin's the only human who can do this or whatever. And it's like, whoa. And then in this, they're just like, yeah, they're smaller and safer. It's like, oh, okay. So it's just less fun. And then they're like, yeah. Anyway, it's almost all droids. And you're like, that's weird. Okay.
But we're going to be using the same sounds as the pod racers.
Totally.
Same sounds of them going by, the same start sound, all the stuff.
Yeah, and we still have access to the Lucasfilm sound effects.
Yeah. And like, I enjoyed the racing. I still thought it was cool. It's just, if I had to have a complaint, it's the fact that they have this feeling that they have to create something new every time. when they
Mhm.
could have reused something that we already really like. The
Yep.
swoop bike racing would have been really cool.
Swoop
Just
bike
to
racing
see
would
them
have been
finally
sick.
bring that in, because
Mhm.
that's no longer considered canon. So it would have been cool to see them bring that back
Mm.
in, or they might be canon.
No, because they were like,
I the gangs are there, but is the racing isn't something that they've talked about during
no, I
the
guess
official
not.
stuff now.
They might have mentioned it occasionally here or there, but
They might have.
yeah. I mean, like the actual races and the animation and all the shots and all the things that were involved in the race were cool and entertaining.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I think this is the first episode this season that Omega is back to her old ways and is annoying.
Yeah.
And just like, no, lady that we bless you, lady that we don't really care about and are only friends with her because of the monetary obligation. Like, we're not friends with her. We don't care about you. We just owe you a debt or something because you're protecting us. You saved us from this thing. So now, we got to pay you back. But I'll sacrifice all of us for an undisclosed amount of money. And we will accept to do this task that I have no fucking idea if we can actually do it or if we'll just die in the process. And so she's like, no, we'll pay double. We'll do double or nothing. And it's just like nobody was like, all right, yeah. Everyone was like, what the fuck? Okay.
Yeah, that was at least nice to see. They're like, this is not a good idea. We don't know what
Yeah.
we're doing. We can't do it. But I don't get. I get it. Actually, it's Star Wars. It's technically a kid show.
Mhm.
And what I found was the Clone Wars, as it started, it was very like kid friendly. And as the
Yeah.
seasons progressed, it gets more mature. It ages with its audience. But
Yeah.
the Bad Batch, even though we've gotten glimpses of like it being with the audience that stuck with it over the years, occasionally there are moments of a reminder that this is a kid show. And I think
Mhm.
this episode, for the most part, is just like a massive reminder. It's
Yeah.
you don't feel like there's any big threat. When Tech was racing, I don't know about you. Did you ever feel like there was a threat to him at all?
No. I was like, I wonder how he's gonna get out of this. He'll just do it. And like the whole episode, a lot of people's complaints about the first season was that it was very focused on Hunter and Omega. Or sorry, Omega.
Yeah.
And so this episode, I understand, this is Tech's episode, and they've talked so much about how he's more analytical and smarter than a droid, and that's like why he was built and bred, was to be this tactician who can figure shit out and analyze stuff and do it better and more efficiently than a droid or something like that. So this episode is fully just cementing that, and we've seen glimpses here and there, but we've never seen like an actual, apart from him being like, actually, if we hit Mach 3, we'll win or whatever.
Yeah.
Occasionally in episodes, but like this episode was fully just showing, look, Tech is a fucking badass when it comes to like strategy and like analytics and all this shit. So seeing a full episode on that, I get it, but in the end, especially after like one of the best episodes of the series, then it's just like, and as you mentioned, like Clone Wars, it grew up with its audience and it matured, and it started as like, battle droids are funny, we gave a funny voice, now everyone's falling, and you're like, look, the kid, he caught a lightsaber, and then it's just like, oh yeah, actually, by the way, Ahsoka's here, Darth Maul's here, now we get to see the purge of an entire race. He takes over, and we see everyone that you know and love die. And then you see the fall of the Republic and the start of the Empire, and you see the dark side of it, and you're just like, fuck.
Yeah.
This show,
Just watch your favorite characters grieve for everything.
yeah, and you see their loved ones that they've never actually been allowed to have any attachment because the ideologies of the Jedi Order and stuff, and you see this distant love relationship, and it become entangled with this planet that we've only seen and stuff, and then she just gets fucking murdered, and you see that. Yeah, anyway, and you're just like, ugh. And I thought that that's what this was starting to do, because we had the first season of just like, hey, aren't these just a wily bunch of rascals? And then they are in shit, and the Republic falls, Birth of the Empire, and then you see the first 2 episodes like, hey, they're older and they're more mature now, and you're like, oh, cool. And then they're like, here's some heavy shits, and you're like, ah, neat. And then they're just like, here's a fun racing one. He's smart, hey? And you're like, oh, okay. So
Yeah, my guess though is, well, I don't want to guess because I could be wrong with this, but they just threw this in because they thought, okay, we've just given these guys something very heavy. We need to lift them up a little bit before
Sure.
we take it back to the same level.
that
So-
is a very Star Wars thing too.
Yeah.
It's like Andor was the first show to actually just be like, we're just gonna live in the filth, and you're gonna feel shit. We're gonna touch on some dark stuff, and we're gonna have characters go through their own morality and choices and stuff, and deal with their consequences, which is not a Star Wars thing. It's normally just like, here's space wizards. It's a space opera. It's just like, here's highs and lows, highs and lows, highs and lows, and they usually switch between them quite often. So like, while I understand that it is a thing that happens all the time, after all of the Clone Wars and then after Andor, it was disappointing. I don't know. It was just,
It sounds like you guys have the same kind of thinking of what I had.
Yeah.
After what we watched last week, it felt like this was such a drop off.
Mhm.
It felt like immediately my
It was a filler episode.
filler, exactly.
Yeah,
it was the
it
exact
was,
word I
exactly.
used in my head the minute
Yeah.
I finished this show or this episode. I'm like, this was a filler, and I just feel like I was cheaped out.
Mhm.
I just
Like
felt
the
like.
only-
Sorry, go ahead. You're saying?
No, you go.
I just felt like after being so pumped up from 2 weeks ago, I felt that they were going to continue on that trajectory. I mean, I didn't expect the next episode to be just as good, but at least on the same trajectory to like make us think again, right? To make us feel more attached to it, and continue that growth throughout the season. And this this didn't do it for me at all. This was like watching Phantom Menace Part 1.5. Like, it was just like speeder racing in Tatooine. I was like, I just don't care. Like, I really, like, I've already seen this. Why do I need to see this again? Another race. I get it. They're trying to make, what's her name?
Omega.
Sorry?
Omega?
No, not
Omega.
Omega. The lady.
The bartender from
Sid.
Cheers?
Yeah,
Sid.
Sid. They're trying to make it. Is it he or a she? I can't
She?
tell. It sounds like a she.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's a being, right? Whatever the
Is she a
being.
Trandoshan?
Yeah, it's she. It's she.
So
Is she a Trandoshan?
I felt like they were
Large
trying
one.
to make her out to be someone not trustworthy, because the very last scene,
She
the
is,
other
yeah.
guy who drops that line, and I was just like, yeah, I already know this though. She can't be trusted.
The
I
whole
already know
point.
stuff.
The whole point of this episode, it absolutely was a filler episode.
Yeah.
But it was to give Tech, like, and two, they didn't show us or tell us anything that we didn't already assume with Tech. It's just the first season, Tech barely got any screen time, like focused screen time. So then they're just like, all right, here's Tech's episodes. He's smart, and it's like, I know. They're like, no, but he's really smart, and you're like, I
Well, we know.
exactly. And so it was cool. So the droid who piloted the
I like that droid. I really like
The
that
droid.
droid.
you know
Oh
who
my
voiced
god,
him?
you liked him?
That droid was the best thing that episode had.
Do you know
No,
who
the best
voiced
part
him?
of who Justin?
It was one of the co-voices of BB-8, and he was also in. Was it?
No wonder I didn't like it.
It was fucking what's his name?
His name is Teo in the that's the droid's name.
That droid was the best thing.
Ben Schwartz.
Ben Schwartz, yeah.
Oh,
I just like the sarcasm,
Oh.
the sarcasm, the whippy humor. I really enjoyed his dialogue in there.
oh
Yeah.
Sorry, you go ahead, Justin. Oh wait.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, it's normally those types annoy me, and this didn't annoy me. It was just the point of that droid was to make it so that Tech looked cooler or smarter. And it was like, see, even he's more analytical and smarter than a droid. Like the whole episode was just saying, hey, Sid can't be trusted, which we're like, okay. And because we've never seen a good Trandoshan. Like, I don't want to get fucking speciest here, but like they're always the bad guys in Star Wars.
Well, there's a reason. You know, like their whole culture is centered around hunting other sentient beings.
Yeah, the Great Hunt.
And they're like a lot of them are slavers too. So
Yeah.
it's not so much it's like a cultural thing. Imagine if there's just some culture on Earth, and it's like we strongly believe in just genocide.
Yeah, it's like
just
all
hunting
British
everyone.
people.
We love our British viewers.
We
love
do.
our British viewers. We do.
He is joking. He is joking, people.
Don't colonize our podcast.
Actually, no.
Once again,
that.
Justin is
We
an
want them to come.
independent member of this team, and he is just joking.
But back to what's his name, Teo, the droid. I think that's how you say it.
But he wasn't too much for me. Like the amount of dialogue that he had was just right. Like I understand Nathan. I know if he was to be around the entire episode, I would have got really annoyed.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's a good point. If
there was a small,
small
sample size for me to be happy with.
Yeah,
and I don't want to see this guy ever again. I'm good. You know, like
do you know what? Do you know what? I'll change my opinion a little bit. I agree with you. I think he was supposed to be annoying and kind of be a bit of a dick, but like that was his whole point, which is why they had him bragging, and in the moment of bragging, he just gets destroyed.
Yeah.
Because
which is
they
fitting.
intentionally did that. Yeah, they
fitting.
intentionally made him like that, annoying, and intentionally like killed him off in that moment for us.
Everyone who fucking loved Jar Jar Binks had it in the latter half of episode 1. He just gets fucking run over by a speeder.
If only he stayed dumb.
Yeah,
honestly, if he was Darth Plagueis, that would have made it.
Well, yeah,
I would have been fine with that then.
Yeah, if they had done the full thing that
that theory needs to put to bed. Just go away. That theory
it's been disproved now, but it would have been great. Actually, no, has it? We don't know. It's not disproved yet because we don't know.
It's not. You're giving way too much credit.
No, because there is a canon book of Plagueis and it has this picture, and it says,
he's the long head guy.
Yeah.
He looks like
it is Star Wars. He could get surgery. I mean, if they can perfect light years, a light speed,
he became a gun.
Yeah,
he'd regret that instantly.
Yeah, there's a real good place on Nar Shaddaa that'll do that procedure for you.
I don't want to be speciesist, but the gun.
Did you guys already give your ratings or score?
No.
Okay.
We haven't gone over the whole episode yet.
Okay.
I mean, that's like, what did I miss? What did we miss?
Well, you didn't miss, but we didn't talk about the end yet.
No, yeah. So they win. Tech does the thing that we all thought he was going to do because there was no danger, and then they get warned. Hey, don't trust her. It's like, all right.
So, yeah. Do you think that she's actually going to betray them though, or that was just like a warning so that way later on it'll make us as an audience question what Sid will do?
I really thought like, why would they vouch for her? Like, I don't understand.
Was she in the first season?
Yeah, of
Like
course.
how?
She was
I
the reason why
vague-
they survived.
No, I know that, but like,
Was she significant? You mean?
yeah,
Well, she was able to get the money so they can buy tech and food and stuff like that.
yeah. Like, I mean, all she was just kind of like a gun runner, and so she was just like the amount of development she had was just like, oh yeah, she works with criminals and like does jobs, and she's like a manager, and it's like, all right, she's probably pretty shitty, and then they're like,
Well,
hey,
she is shitty.
she's
Like,
gonna be shitty, and then you're like, okay, yeah,
She makes these guys do dangerous things for money.
yeah,
She is
Yeah,
shitty.
but that's that. No, but that's the whole point of like their profession.
Yeah,
Isn't
no,
it?
I get it, but I'm just like, okay, why would you stick your neck out for someone shitty like this?
yeah.
Continued work, I guess.
They don't even like her.
Yeah,
But they're only
continued
doing
work,
it to
but
pay
okay,
off
but
her-
you're putting yourself on the
They're
line.
only doing it to pay off their debt with her.
Yeah.
So
No.
they're obligated to be there. So like, there's not like if she betrays them,
They
they'll be
have no
like,
debt.
oh no,
The debt was done in season 1.
Was it?
Yeah,
no, they
Why are they
kept
still working
no,
for her,
that's
then?
why
They're
they
not
went
working
for the
for
big
her.
job. They are. That's why they went for the big job in the first episode, because they were like, finally, we can pay off our debt if we go and raid Count Dooku's fucking stash. We can now pay off our debt.
I thought they
Great
did that
company.
so they don't have to rely on her ever again.
Your wording,
It was both.
Justin. So they can raid Count Dooku's stash. Made me think of like Count Dooku as being like a the stoner having his own supply,
yeah.
just in the castle.
We need to
Relaxing.
find it. His little tiny or his giant Altoids tin
Oh yeah,
in his
Oh,
castle.
he'd have more than that. He's rich. We've seen how wealthy
yeah.
he is. So wealthy
got,
that
like,
the Empire's
50
like shipping stuff in huge
He's got, like,
crates.
50 Altoid tins, like the Costco ones.
This guy was doing Amazon deliveries, man, all day long. He had his
Yeah.
own Amazon warehouse.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. Like an Amazon warehouse.
Yeah.
No, but I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought that they already paid her debt off last season, and this heist was to clearly secure them for any financial means away from her ever. They don't need to go to her ever for any money.
Yeah.
So I just looked it up, and it looks like Alvin, you are right.
Yeah.
In one of the episodes from the last season, when they were playing, which game was it? I can never pronounce this one. Dejark.
The jerk.
Dejark.
The
They won
jerk.
enough money. That was when they got out.
Oh,
of-
right. Omega
Yeah.
did that.
Yeah. I
So, I
think I
mean-
mixed myself up too with that.
So no, let me go back to what I was saying. Like, why even stick your neck out for her?
Oh, yeah.
When
You
she-
weren't here for this. I
yeah, we
thought that
talked
was
about that.
annoying. This was the first time this season that Omega has been dumb and annoying.
Yeah.
And
And not the
Like,
last.
Because if you're
No.
gonna make a deal with them, then you should have something as well to get. You can say, okay, we want her, and then
Yeah.
we want some money in return as well.
Well, like,
because-
I
yeah,
know-
it was just
They
like,
wouldn't have given more money, but I know Sid could have been like, "Okay, I'll pay you extra," which
Yeah.
didn't happen.
yeah, but
yeah,
nothing
but
happened.
Omega was just like, no, we'll race again, double or nothing in this thing that we don't know anything about. Looks pretty scary, and for a person that we don't really like. But and also it's an undetermined amount of money that she owes, so we'll just write a blank check, I guess.
Does that feel kind of like a Pokemon episode to you guys?
Oh yeah,
Oh no,
It's even
you're in
worse than
trouble.
that. It's
I
even
got
worse than
it.
that because she agrees to the terms, and she has no idea if they can even fix the vehicle and the robot because they
No.
haven't fixed those.
or
two
how much money
components.
the bitch
And then
owes.
the robot got killed.
Like, I mean, why would you agree to terms if you don't even know if you're going to be in the race in the first place, right?
But-
Because
One
she's
part-
clearly still a child and is
In
just like,
regards-
I can help.
In regards to the robot, this part actually kind of weirded me out a little bit. So it was what's that other guy's name? The gangster that took in Sid, captured Sid. Should I just
Oh,
call
the
him
one that was
big guy.
he was actually voiced by
Thanos.
no.
That's what I thought when I
somebody-
saw him, though. He's that big. Oh, what's his name?
He's got the horns
Um,
on his cheek area.
If I type in Bad Batch horny gangster. Will it pull him up?
So
No, it didn't.
is Tony Soprano.
What was this episode called again?
Faster.
Faster.
What a
Faster.
great title.
Not the best.
No, it's a name that you will recognize, Elvin. Blah blah blah.
Lucius?
Blah. No.
Milegis?
Lucky Luciano.
Milegi, something like that. Crap, I forgot the point I was going to make. Oh, yeah. So at one point, when Milegi's own pilot, the racer, killed or destroyed the droid that was supposed to race for Sid, and then all of a sudden Milegi's like, well, I guess that means I win. You forfeit. I destroyed your droid outside of the race. You lose. I'm like, what? I would be like,
Yes,
no,
you gotta forfeit.
you've just forced me to lose outside of like our agreement. So you're fucking giving me
he was voiced by Ernie Hudson.
Oh, okay.
What's up to
Yeah.
Ernie Hudson do?
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Ernie-
Oh
yeah,
shit. Yeah,
Ernie.
yeah. Oh yeah, I like him. Is he? I didn't even think he was alive.
What?
He's 77.
Yeah, he's still alive.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
he was
but,
in the last Ghostbuster
Ghostbusters
movie.
just died
But
recently.
Yeah.
which one just? You're not talking about.
Dead Ghostbuster.
That's what I looked up. Yeah.
The kids one, the one with the kids.
Yeah.
Harold
Harold
Ramis.
Allen. Harold Ramis.
Yeah.
Ramis.
Yeah.
I liked him.
But yeah, it was just filler episodes, and it was
meh.
fine. Yeah, it was fine.
Oh,
I wasn't
Elvin.
like annoyed through the whole thing, but when it ended,
Yeah.
and like when it started, I was just like, it's probably just like, I don't know. It's like right when it started, and they get to a new planet and they do a thing, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a bullshit episode. Okay. And so I kinda-
It almost felt like they're like, oh, last week was way too serious and adult oriented, and we need to dumb it down for a kid episode.
yeah,
Well,
maybe
I
they're
think
just
they need
like,
to take the break.
yeah, maybe they're doing like episode 3, and they're like, all right, let's see if we get any kids who need therapy, and they're like, no, okay, all right, okay, we're gonna go through more heavy shit.
I think often they do this sort of thing because if they do like too many episodes that are serious in nature in a row, they get worried that that's going to set the tone for the whole thing, and that if they do something like this that's a bit lighter, that well, this one's very light, but if they do something that's even just like a little bit more kid friendly, then people will get all like up in arms, like, why is this deviating? Like this show is not supposed to be like
the
this.
first season was nothing
Maybe,
like
yeah, maybe.
episode
Yeah.
3. So I think while I love episode 3 and I think it's the best thing in the series, I understand like every part of that. I'm not upset, but just like I'm disappointed or annoyed about this episode. I'm not like, well, why did they do this? This is dumb. I'm like, I know exactly why this happened, and I know exactly why this episode exists. I just don't like it as much, especially after the like roller coaster that the last episode was. Like that was a heavy, impactful, beautiful episode, and this one's just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, this is a TV show.
Yeah.
So
I did like the start when they were playing the board game, which
Dejarik.
Dejarik, thank you. I don't know why I love Star Wars. I prefer Sabacc. I have my own Sabacc set. I know Sabacc is
prefer
more of a
Pizak.
recent thing. Well, you do play it as well?
Huh?
Do you play it or
I
guess
have.
It's kind of hard to play. Yeah,
It is.
but it's I don't know. It's simpler. It's like kind of like blackjack, just a little.
It's
different.
blackjack, but with cool cards. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just so much easier to play rather than
and
learning the rules.
they're easier to explain too.
But Dejarik does look cooler when
does.
you just, thinking of Star Wars, most people are going to think of Dejarik.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me. Is it
So-
too early to give our ratings? We're only 35 minutes. I guess because the episode was only 20 minutes.
That tells you how great this episode was.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it was a
it's
20-minute episode. Did you guys
was
see
fine.
the the post-credit scene?
What?
No, I'm just fucking with you.
So if
would've been
they did
great.
a post-credit scene, it's just like, all right,
It
they
needed a
know that-
post-credit scene.
yeah,
to be honest
exactly.
with you.
They're like,
Yeah,
we
that would
know
have
that
helped.
this episode doesn't matter, and the only way we're gonna get people to watch is if fucking Darth Maul shows up in a secret deleted scene.
Darth Maul's still alive at this point. Just started
He
the
is.
Empire. He's still alive.
Yeah, well, he doesn't die
Obi-Wan's
till
depressed.
Obi-Wan's
Yeah.
old geezer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe we will
but-
see him. Probably
Maybe.
not.
Fuck it, let's just go to rank it right now.
Yeah. 5.
Ooh, that bad?
Well,
That's lower than I
again,
thought you would.
Wow.
no, it's just
I
in
don't know about
comparison
that,
to
five.
the. I'm saying it's middle ground. Like it's a whatever. Like, yeah, it's fine. Like 5 is
It
gonna.
was
is,
a little bit of an entertainment. It wasn't too bad.
Actually, no, you're right. I'm gonna. No, that's true. Because yeah, I was never disappointed or annoyed throughout the whole thing. So I'm gonna say like, okay, 6.5.
Yeah.
That's better.
It's like the animation, all the races were cool.
It's like,
Characters
I'll
are
allow
cool.
it. I'll allow it.
It was just like it was a filler episode. Whatever.
yeah, it was definitely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 6.5 as well. That's exactly where I was landing the whole
A
time.
1.5 off, and you fucking go up my ass about. Come on.
6.5 is a whole lot nicer
Whoa.
than 5.
You got to redo your whole score.
Yeah, 6.5 for me. It was just whatever. It was like you kind of get mad at them because they gave you a banger the week before.
Mhm.
You kind of give them a little break. They want to entertain you with some fun, different aspects. We got to see another planet
Mhm.
with some cool new characters. That big boy, what's his name again?
No, it's
Mel-
a weird.
I would love a figure of
Milwaukee.
that guy in the Black Series.
Melegis?
Yeah.
Melegi?
He looks
Milwaukee.
pretty cool.
Oh, he's kind
was
of
the same-
looking.
Well, he's the same species as the third sister, I think. Or the fifth?
Is it the third or
From
fourth?
Fallen
Order?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a figure from Black Series for that guy. But other than that, whatever. It's an episode to shine light on tech,
Not the
The
third
show-
sister.
to make
The
him
third
really,
sister's.
really, really important and
Oh.
special.
Right. Third sister is the. Is that the dude?
I'm gonna get Kenobi.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, Alvin. I know I interrupted you there, but like the third sister, bad.
Very bad.
It's all
Very
bad.
bad.
All bad.
Yeah, 6.5 for me. I thought it was whatever. It did its job, I think, to entertain you a little bit, but definitely a filler. Falls in that category. Just let's hope next week they don't do another filler because that's pretty bad then. They need to step it up next week.
Yeah, I agree. That'd be
Well, I
nice.
think they were kind of foreshadowing like, nope, shit's gonna go down. So
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna deviate from you guys a little bit. I'm gonna give it a 7. It 100% I agree. It's a filler episode. There are plot points where it's like, oh, there's the tunnel that you're not supposed to go in. They're gonna go in it. There's I knew Tech was gonna drive from the start.
yeah.
Not the very start, but as soon as the droid lost,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, they're not going to use him again. It's going to be Tech. He's been criticizing the droids driving. 100% it's going to be him.
Yeah.
And of course, big surprise, he does do it. So the plot was pretty predictable.
Wait,
no
did you-
one's going to die.
Sorry,
Yeah.
should I cut you off? Did you honestly think it was Tech? I had a feeling. I'm like, please don't be Omega. Please don't be Omega. Please, please, please.
Sorry, I shouldn't. Have
There was
said
a
the very
moment I
beginning.
thought she was gonna jump in.
As soon as Tech started criticizing the driving and showing like interest, I was like, okay, it's going to be him. You're right. I did think she was going to be the one that was going to drive. As once I saw her in the race, that was my first guess. But as soon as Tech started looking interested in criticizing, that's when I immediately shifted. Because they always do that. Whoever shows interest and then the first driver loses or something happens to them, who's going to replace them? Oh, it's this person that's interested but's never done it before. The plot's super predictable, but it's a filler episode. Didn't hate it. I thought the driving, flying,
Speeding,
the swooping,
the swooping.
the swooping was cool.
Yeah.
It looked, it looked nice. All the episodes start like the first frame is of a city or some sort of location, and it looks gorgeous. And they
Mhm.
did it again. And even though it's only for a second or two, I enjoyed it. I don't know. I guess the reason why I'm giving it a slightly higher score, um, is I guess because I expected this episode to be a filler.
Mm.
So I kind of set myself up for that already.
You weren't
Um,
disappointed going in.
yeah,
Gotcha.
I wasn't disappointed. I didn't get that feeling. I did think, oh, I wish this was pod racing or swoop bike racing, something like
Yeah.
that. But beyond that, I liked the timing where they killed the droid. I liked,
Mhm.
bragging and acting like a dick, and then all of a sudden, boom! It felt like a little bit of fan service almost. They're like, "Yeah, we know you guys are gonna like him dying on screen. We're gonna do that right away."
Yeah.
So I'm giving it a 7.
Would you have
Yep.
given a lower mark if Omega was driving and won?
Oh, 100%. I liked Tech's one of my favorite characters.
Hmm.
In the Bad Batch.
Mhm.
And I don't think they use him enough. He's really intelligent. He's one of those guys that I don't want them to do a spin-off. But
Mhm.
let's say that instead of
Yeah, I
doing
don't
the
need
Bad
spin-offs
Batch,
of a spin-off.
yeah. But let's say instead of doing the Bad Batch, if
Of a
they just
spin-off.
did it on Tech, I'd be interested in that.
This is a spin-off of a spin-off of a spin-off. This is the Clone Wars,
Yeah.
Is this
which
Clone
is
Wars
from the
spin-off, yeah.
movie.
Oh, the Clone Wars. Wait, the Clone Wars movie?
So the Clone Wars movie, then this is a spin-off from that
Yeah.
movie, and then this is a spin-off from that spin-off.
Yeah, that's true. Star Wars is pretty good at that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like even Andor, like that's a spin-off because the movie was also a spin-off.
Yeah,
And then
that's true.
Yeah.
they're good at doing the trilogy of
I'm
spin-offs.
getting tired of spin-offs, man. I'm telling you.
Well,
No.
have you guys seen the Mandalorian trailer?
Oh,
That's gonna be a
yeah,
spin-off
I was
too.
going to get into that because it's Star Wars related. I was going to get into that.
all right. I'm gonna.
Oh,
go get
After
a
Hours is
beverage.
officially here, folks.
Yeah,
We
After
just-
Hours
we,
is here.
We just put
One
Bad
second.
Batch to bed.
Bad Batch was a short episode.
Yeah. It was short on my attention span too. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? That Mandalorian trailer, woo boy, it was nice. Did you guys like the trailer?
Yes.
Yeah. I've got nothing negative to say. Yeah,
Nothing
You
honestly,
don't
I'm
sound,
just
you don't
looking
sound
forward to it.
thrilled, Nathan.
No. I just this is one of the shows where it's consistently been good. Season 1, the first 2 episodes, because this was the first live action Star Wars spinoff.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys felt the same. I could not, I was so excited. I love the Mandalorians with a passion.
Mhm.
And they did a spin-off show off with someone that's not Boba Fett. I love Boba Fett. Maybe not the show, but I love Boba Fett. But they did a
We did
spin-off
love Boba Fett.
of just at the time he was a random Mandalorian, and it was so good those first 2 episodes, and it set me up. They showed like the Grogu, the baby Yoda, and that really got me hooked. I was like, what? I didn't care that he was a baby and he looked cute. I was like, holy shit, we've only
Well-
seen like the species twice. This is
Well, in
awesome.
the beginning, everyone was real skeptical of Baby Yoda. Everyone was like, not everyone. A lot of people were like, oh,
Yeah, a
they
lot
gotta
more.
put a cute thing in, and they go, oh, now here's the annoying little cute thing in Star Wars. It's gonna be fucking annoying. And then it was like, oh, I would like to buy 10 of these figures because it's so fucking cute, and I would die for this little fucker. Oh, okay.
Put it on the back of my phone.
Yeah.
Give me plus toys. Wait, oh yeah, you've got one.
Like 2, like 3 of this little fucker.
Do you have a figure of one as well, right? Like a little figure? Is he? He's not in a character. It's just him individually, right? Yeah. Who did he? So he came with
He has
Mando.
toe articulation.
how many toes does he have? 2, right?
Or no, he's got foot articulation. You can move his feet. You can move his head. You can move his hand. He's got wrists.
How many points of
Swivel.
articulation is he?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You know
Damn.
how I do the videos for figure reviews, and we have the articulation lines. You need to do one of those for him. And put
And
it
he comes with
the
the
frog
bowl.
thing.
the bowl that.
Oh, I
he-
gave
he's
you that
got
one.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
And he
it.
comes with the little ball that Mando gives him and the frog thing.
Wait, you never seen that, Nathan?
I have, but I forgot the I forgot the stuff he came with. I actually, for some reason in my mind, I thought it was just him in the cradle that you had.
That's another one.
Yeah,
Oh, so
they made like 7 versions of him.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
of course
they
they're
got
gonna
their
milk him
money's
for
worth.
They're gonna milk him. They're gonna make another one. Did you not see the trailer at the end?
trailer. What do you mean another one? Oh, the cradle.
Another
yeah,
action
yeah.
figure of him
Yeah.
because he's got the new crib now.
Yeah, that's true. Is it new? Wait,
Yeah,
let
it's
me
brand
go-
new.
let me-
Yeah, it's
I'm-
got a
I got
little
the trailer right next to me.
R2. You know the little mouthpiece that R2 has. It's got that
Yeah.
part, like it's a droid thing. I don't know. It's new.
Let me take a look. I didn't notice that.
So the first couple seasons of Mandalorian were very westerny, and that was a lot of subterfuge, and there was some cool like fight scenes and stuff, but it was very much like spaghetti western. This
Mhm.
one seems like it's going to be the Captain America Civil War of the Mandalorian episodes or seasons, because like you've got him going back to Mandalore. You have the rightful ownership of the Darksaber in question. You've got the place that Grief Karga he's running, but in the trailer you see like the Coven. Who's the Mandalorians that Din was part of? What was their name? Or did we know?
No, I think we do. Let me look it up.
Well, you see them on that planet fucking shit up. And also too, we still have a lot of question like who the armorer is aligned to. There's the different sects of Mandalorians that are now converging, and we're seeing some shit happen. So there's like, you see the Night Angels in there. You've obviously got Death Watch. Then you've got the armorer, who a lot of people, most people are like, oh yeah, she is absolutely part of the clan that Darth Maul was running, because she's got fucking spikes on her helmet, and they all did. And you see a lot of really cool shots of like them doing like dropship stuff. And I think this one's going to be the most actiony of the season so far. Because a lot of shit's up, but also too, Grogu has now been like, fuck the Jedi, I'm gonna be a full Mandalorian. So maybe he wields a Darksaber and rules Mandalore. Maybe he becomes Mandalore. Then you got him in a tiny little helmet. I hope they don't do
Might
that.
be a
I
little
don't think
far.
Yeah.
For the record, so his group is called the Tribe, and the people that rescued him were children of, was it the Watch or the Night? I think Children of the Night. No, well, the Watch.
Death
Children
Watch.
of the Watch. Yeah. So it's Death Watch,
Yeah.
and the group from Death Watch was called Children of the Watch.
Gotcha.
But now his group is called Mudhorn. There's only 2 now. Him and Grogu. They're part of the Mudhorn clan.
Are they?
Well, I don't know that that's the
Yeah,
name
they're
of
officially
it.
called the Mudhorn clan.
Is that a
Are they?
clan thing?
The 2 of them, yeah.
Well, I know that they put this.
Clan
they chose the
Mudhorn.
sigil.
Yeah.
Because remember how what's her name? The lady who talks to him all the time.
The armor.
Says to him, "You are part of a clan now."
Yep.
A
Clan of two.
Clan
So
of 2.
so
Their name
the
is Mudhorn.
Mandalorian, the Mandalorian organization is the Tribe. That's what they belong to, and the specific clan is the Clan Mudhorn. You're right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
there's
pretty
going to be a
cool.
lot of.
And
Wait a
you know
minute.
what? The very end at that trailer, where Grogu is that monster comes to the cave. That is sort of like a Sith type of movement there.
Hold on.
Like force push. Everyone's got that.
No, just the way he approached, like
Stepping out of the
Jasper's-
shadows. Actually, that reminded me of Luke a little bit. Like, you just use a force and like he walks out because Luke in episode 6 does that often. You'll see him like push someone against the wall to push them away, and Luke will just come out of the shadows, looking all menacing. I thought that was
So-
kind of a reference to that.
Yeah. So also this bit, fucking YouTube, can you load properly? There we
hello
go.
there.
General
Hello there.
Kenobi.
So this part that we're seeing a lot of Mandalorian armor melted and shit, that doesn't happen. I'm gonna try and make a joke here. Jet fuel doesn't melt Beskar. So this obviously has a reference to the weapon that was introduced in Rebels, that the what's her name, the Mandalorian helped develop, because it was made to melt and like cook Mandalorians from the inside, and it focused on Beskar. So we're seeing kind of the aftermath of that, because obviously he goes to the pools of Mandalore. I'm gonna change the quality so that it stops fucking losing its shit.
Is it?
That's just gonna load forever.
Is it for me? I think it's maybe a little early, but I'm gonna say it anyways. I think this is the best season. This is gonna be the best season of the 3.
Sure.
I think it is a little early to say that. It
I don't know.
hasn't even come out.
I just had this feeling that this is gonna be the best season of the 3.
Sure.
Oh,
I mean,
more-
season 1 is pretty hard to beat.
Yeah,
Right?
season one's good.
I no,
Maybe they like it
I would
this
say season
You
2
think season
was,
2 is better than season 1?
yes, because season 1 it still was trying to get its foot.
Yeah, but that ending though,
Yeah.
That
Well,
ending, though,
season
it had everybody
Season-
talking about deep fakes and all that shit, right?
that was season 1.
Yeah.
What happened season 2?
Ahsoka.
No,
And
season
then
2
Grogu
did
went
ha-
training with Luke, remember?
No, Luke.
No,
was in
that's
season...
that's Boba Fett, dog.
So,
What? What are
wait,
you
hold
talking
on. Luke was in season 2, but he rescued them at the end.
In season
Yes.
1.
No, that was the end of season 2.
Season 1, the end of it was Mando like flying away with his new jetpack and Grogu, wasn't it? No, he wasn't escaping. They just fought back with all the other Mandalorians. They retook the city or something like that, or they let him escape.
Oh, IG-11 dies, and they get into and then the Razor. Oh, and then they're on the ice planet. Yeah, season 2 was the one with Luke,
Yep.
I don't think so.
the Darksaber.
Yeah.
Well, then how did season 2 end? Because it
Season
ends
2
with him having the Darksaber, and then Bo-Katan being like, "No, I can't accept that."
and then we see
Yeah,
Luke
you're right.
in
No,
in
you're right. Then,
the Book of
yeah.
Boba.
The training
Mm-hmm.
with Grogu and Ahsoka and all that's in fucking Book of Boba Fett.
The best part of the Book of
The
Boba.
only good part.
Yes, yeah.
And I don't know about you guys.
No
but
wonder
I'm
I didn't
still
think
kind
of Boba
upset
Fett
that
because I
in
thought it was
there.
Mandalorian episode.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm still a little upset that the big moment for the Mandalorian show was in a different show.
Yeah.
It's like this big moment of Grogu deciding if he's
It's
going to
pretty
be
bad,
a Jedi.
right? It's pretty
I would have
bad.
liked season 3. I would have been fine if nearly all of season 3 was without Grogu, or if we just get snippets here and there. And
And we
I
get a
wanted it to
couple
be
little Babu Fricks.
I
Speaking
wanted-
of only good thing from a certain thing, the only good thing of the new trilogy,
yeah.
it's Babu Frick.
I think that Grogu should have spent season 3 training with Luke, and we have Mando just trying to like become a proper Mandalorian, and go back to Mandalore without
Mhm.
Grogu, and then near the end, the last couple episodes, Grogu comes back and we learn that he actually wants to be with Mando. So that way we don't just get that one episode gap between him being with Mando and him being with Luke. I think
I
that's too
don't-
short of a time after 2 seasons of trying to get him there. We get like an episode or 2 of him being with them before he comes back.
Honestly, I think I disagree, because the last 2 seasons were just like the first season was 100% it was like Red Dead Redemption. It was just a cowboy RPG where he was just upgrading his armor, getting new gear, doing quests, and meeting people.
Yeah.
And then he got companions. And then the second season was like, all right, let's fuck shit up. And then then they have, the bad guy that they meet, Moff Gideon. Then they're like, all right, we got to fight the bad guy. Then they fight the bad guy. They meet a couple people. They bring around Grief Karga and he helps. And then they defeat him. Then Luke shows up and you're like, oh shit. If the third season was like, all right, now they go their separate ways and train. It's like we just had 2 seasons of training and like build up.
Yeah.
So like that's why I'm saying like I feel like this is going to be like the Captain America like Civil War where it's just like, all right, we've had 2 seasons of build up and now it's just like you go to Mandalore, he bathes in the waters of fucking whatever. Then you get to see like a lot of flashbacks and a lot of story shit about like the sacking of fucking Mandalore and all of his entire culture and people dying, and as a ramp up of just like fuck these guys, because he's still working for the Empire. He didn't give a shit. He's just like, yeah, whatever, I'll work for people who are part of the Empire. And now he's just like, fuck, they killed everyone. And so you'll get that kind of build up and of like the inspiration that he takes to then rally his people, whether he upholds the Darksaber. Well, he has to because he won it in combat, so he can't pass it off.
Mhm.
So he's kind of being pushed into this role as the leader, and then he's just gonna rally. And then, well, I mean, we know nothing. Well, yeah. Well, actually, I was gonna say we know nothing really happens. But the Empire doesn't exist in canon after this because this is after the movies. So
The Empire
they
is still around though, but not
not
as powerful.
after. No, because I think it becomes the First Order.
Not right away. There's still
No,
some
no,
time
not right
before-
away.
Yeah.
But like I'm saying that like there.
Well, we have
isn't
Thrawn still with his fleet.
Fuck, I forgot about Thrawn.
How do you
Yeah.
forget about Thrawn?
Thrawn's-
You wanted him in
But
an
no-
Andor.
He's gonna be
I
in
did.
yeah, that would have been cool. I
So
think they will
They did
give him
mention
a,
that they're gonna
an
have a Marvel type of uniting to fight Thrawn. They are building
Yes.
that. They're doing that right now. So you'll have Boba, you'll have Mando, you'll have Ahsoka. I don't know if they're gonna put Luke in there. Would they?
No.
How
I
can
don't-
you not though? Like the dude is there for you to get help from.
He's
He's the
I
greatest
think he's gonna-
Jedi, arguably, aside from Vader. I know you're gonna shrug your head. I
Vader's
know.
not a Jedi, he's a Sith. If you're talking about Anakin, that's a different story.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Anakin
Calvin,
died.
get it right.
You say tomato. I
They
say
confirmed
tomato.
this in the
Relax.
Kenobi show. the
Oh,
best
God,
Star Wars
please,
show
I'm
of
gonna
all
throw up.
time.
Actually-
Stop. So I don't know. Like they're saying, they're gonna put all these guys together, like to have this big cinematic battle. Ezra's gonna be involved. They're gonna have
Mhm.
members from some of these
Oh,
animations in there, and they're gonna have Rex there. Maybe
Mhm.
the Bad Batch will show up live action. Who knows?
That'd be fucking sick.
That if that happens, I'm telling you right now, I'm that's it. Game over. That's
I would love
probably
a
the best,
live action Rex.
the best they'll ever put
Oh.
together a team, having all these guys on screen at the same time.
And you know what's great? Live action Rex. It's not like, oh, I wonder who's gonna play him. We know who would play him.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know how
It's
good it
The
would
Rock.
be. The New Zealand Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I
that's
like
what
how
they're
we've
doing.
not even discussed this. You just said you know who it's going to be, and everyone was just like, "Yeah, it's going to be The Rock."
But yeah, it's crazy how this is building up to it. I the reason why I say it's going to be the best of the 3 seasons is I know the Luke scene was insane. I can't believe I mixed the 2 seasons up. Oh my god, like that's how messed up I'm, because that Boba Fett edition has really messed my timeline of the whole seasons.
Mhm.
It's
that's
just
fair
a
enough.
blur. It just did they have to insert those episodes in there? I mean, I know why, but it just messes my whole timeline of
Yeah.
Mando. But I think season 3 is going to be great because there's so many things happening.
Yeah.
We have the sword. We have Bo-Katan wanting the power because
Mhm.
she's a crazy jealous bitch, whatever you want to call her. And then you have probably a sprinkling of something to do with Thrawn, maybe.
Mhm.
Then you have him, Mando, trying to get back his respect, right, from what's her face, and then
No, because at
armor.
this point he is no longer the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
He is not a
Yeah.
Mandalorian.
He's the guy with Beskar armor.
He's just Pedro. He's just Pedro with the helmet.
Yeah,
He has a vote for Pedro shirt as
He's
well.
just
Hold on,
Joel-
that's not bad. That's pretty good still.
yeah.
vote
he's
for
just
vote for
Joel-
Pedro.
Yeah.
Pedro.
One of the
keep
greatest
me-
movies of all time.
I
Napoleon
keep
Dynamite.
meaning to rewatch. I no shit have not seen Napoleon Dynamite since high school.
I was just
and
talking to some of my friends about it today.
I gotta
because-
rewatch it. Like it was
My
so
friend, one of my
fucking
friends,
good.
shout out to my buddy Ravi. He was watching a show, and Uncle Rio, what's his name? Uncle
I
Rio.
think so, something like that.
He was in another movie. He's like, I recognize that guy. He used to be in Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
And then my other friend says, "Can he throw a football over the mountain?" or something like that. Oh man, anyways, I don't
So
know
good.
but yeah, I think this is going to be the greatest. And then I just have this weird, eerie feeling that Grogu is going to be more. See, the way I think this is going to end is Grogu is going to be a Sith, and I would love for him to kill Mando.
A tiny little.
Just
Well,
just
because-
kill Mando at the end. That's what I want.
I think
Or Mando has to kill him because he's just too powerful.
well, that's the thing. Like, there's been no development. It's just been like he's the cute little thing, and you're like, oh, it's like Yoda, and then you're like, he's force sensitive. It's like, well, yeah, he's a baby Yoda, okay, and that's been it. There's been like he's continuing to
think
be cute.
this is a season
Oh,
you're
he's
gonna
actually
see him.
powerful, and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, and they're like, he's really powerful. It's like, yeah, so was Yoda. So like, there's been no, like, the second you saw Baby Yoda, you're just like, I mean, his fucking name was Baby Yoda. Like they didn't even tell you his name until the second season.
Yeah, Ahsoka mentions it to him.
Ahsoka's just like, oh, his name's Grogu, and everyone's just like, what?
And then you learn that Jedi can communicate with their minds.
yeah.
And then 50% of the people on the internet are like, I hate Grogu. That's the stupid name. I'm sticking with Baby Yoda.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. And then they all switched because
Yeah,
they're like,
well, we
oh,
had
gee,
to.
Grogu's pretty cool. Oh,
Yeah.
Grogu.
Do you know, as crazy as what Elvin said sounds, like it's not too far fetched to consider him going to the dark side because he never was taught to control his emotions.
No.
And if you don't, you're very susceptible to.
Which is also
falling
why
to the dark
Ahsoka
side.
said that she didn't want to train him.
Yeah.
See, all
So-
of these are connecting the dots. Like this guy might be unhinged later on. It's not going to happen this season, but I think maybe in season 5, if they get to that, I think you're going to see him just getting unhinged and just getting out of control to the point where Mando has to put him to sleep and just end it. And that's where this father and son relationship is going to take another turn, right?
Daddy Pedro.
Yeah.
Did you guys
Oh,
hear
what is-
the theory about Grogu being used to help clone Palpatine?
Oh yeah. Well, that's the
Yeah.
so the doctor that originally was wanting Grogu, he has a cloner patch on his shoulder. So the patch on his Imperial uniform is the same patch that all the clones had when they showed them in episode 2, like when they were kids. And also it's a Kaminoan insignia or whatever. So he is like part of the geneticist, whatever. He's
Yeah.
a cloner. So it's pretty much not confirmed, but it's just like heavily hinted at that like Grogu is the reason that because they want I guess just because what is it? Because
The
like, their
midichlorian counts, you
species,
think?
yeah, their species has a generally higher metachlorine count than most humans, so they're like, this is a good source of
Yeah.
I don't know bone marrow and DNA and shit, so they can just I hope that they. I don't think Dave Filoni doesn't give a thundering fuck about the new trilogies, so he's not like, oh,
No.
I gotta reference it.
Nope. I hope he doesn't
Um,
reference shit.
No,
Do
Nothing.
you know? I do hope that they try and fix it a little bit. I don't want
How?
like, a lot
How are you
hints,
gonna
but
fix it?
I'm happy with them doing little things where, like now, where they're kind of heavily hinting at things like this,
Mhm.
so that way we can kind of piece it together. But at the same time, he's not getting his hands in the dirty water.
He's not over explaining and being like, okay, we're gonna mention Palpatine
Nope.
and I gotta.
Yeah, it's
I
just like
hope
if you really look into it, you can kind of explain it. But
The
again,
only way
yeah,
they can fix
I'm
this,
not doing it.
the only way I see them fixing is two ways they could do it. Totally
They do.
ignore what happened, never speak it ever again, or they do what they did in Rebels near the end, where they showed how you can go to times with Azra and Ahsoka, where they saw
Oh,
these,
the world between worlds or whatever.
so they could do that and say they go to a right time and change the outcome, and then
Or they say that's how Palpatine returned and came back with 1,000 fucking ships and a giant army that nobody ever noticed or anything. Is because
whatever
he
it
then
is.
harnessed the world between worlds and he went to alternate dimensions and stole all their shit. It's like,
Yeah.
that is the most garbage storytelling thing, but is better than what is actually canon right now.
that tells you how bad that trilogy was. When this might
If they
be a
if
better
they were like,
alternative.
oh, by the way, they go to alternate dimensions and steal all of the stuff, and
Yeah.
that's how he gets it. I'd be like, okay, that's cool.
I'll take
Because
it.
right now
I'm
it's just like,
surprised.
oh, he did it in secret and he got cloned. It's like,
I
that's
don't know
dumb.
if you know that there was news that came out. I can't remember the source. I really wish I knew the source, but they're going to announce the next trilogy next year.
Yep.
It's supposed to start filming in 2024, late 2024, and have it ready for late 2025.
Kill
So,
Ray, kill Ray, kill Ray, kill Ray, kill Ray.
no,
I don't
they're
not-
not
I
going to
don't
kill
not
Ray,
like
but they might
Rey.
kill your hopes again, because John Boyega is supposed to be a Jedi now.
Oh, they missed
Well,
their
that's
like.
what
I
they-
like him. I like him as an actor. They missed their chance though.
Yeah,
should've
Yeah,
done
they
that early
did.
on.
And
nobody
and
cares anymore.
they hinted at that, and then the first movie they were like, maybe he's Force sensitive. Oh, and it'd be like, oh, that'd be cool. Like, and that's the Kyle Katarn story. It's just being like, oh, he was a stormtrooper. Actually, his dad was Jedi, and now he's Jedi, and then he works with Luke, and they start the Massassi Temple. Like, that's Kyle Katarn.
Yep.
And then they were just like, oh, he has a lightsaber, and you're like, oh, is he special? And they're like, nope.
He's Mace Windu's son.
Then why are we? Is he looking at
Yeah,
the lightsaber? Why did he
fuck.
pick it up? Like,
I don't know.
bunch of nonsense. Everything they had tried, like, the worst part about all of that was how they made Luke look like a dumb, bumbling buffoon,
Yes.
an old, withered
Yes.
away Jedi. It's such an
You know,
embarrassment to
when-
do that.
The person who plays the character that you are bringing back and who has continued to be that like Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker, period. If he
Yeah,
shows
yeah.
up in a movie or a TV show, there's like no suspension of disbelief. You're like, why is Luke Skywalker here? And you're like, whatever, it's still a good show or whatever. Not saying like, and he does amazing things and especially voice acting or whatever, but like he mainly did voice acting because of that lack of suspension of disbelief. Like you couldn't cast him in something because you'd be like, why the fuck is Luke here? But you know, with his work with like the Joker, and he's done so many amazing voice acting roles, but that's probably a big reason why he did that. But when the person who is being that character goes like, this isn't how this character should act, this isn't something this character should do, and then he has to explain it away to himself, be like, okay, this isn't my Star Wars, this is a new Star Wars. You're doing it wrong. If the person who created the source material was being like, oh, I need to make an exception because this story is different. It's like, it's the same story. The same people are in it. It's just they're continuing.
Yeah, no, it's they did
it.
all of this just to get Rey hyped up, just to prompt that character on a pedestal. All of this, like all of the characters had to be stupid and beneath her just to get that character out the top, and they still couldn't do it.
I
Yeah,
was waiting for that.
I lost it, but I'll put it in a folder that I know where it is now.
and it just it
Somehow.
just never went through. It just another stupid idea by Kathleen Kennedy and her band of misfits, and yeah, So I'm
The Bad Batch.
I'm not
No,
excited.
don't call them the Band of Misfits. Band of Misfits are cool, and so are the Bad Batch. Call them fucking unemployed writers.
Sure. Unemployed writers with Kathleen Kennedy. I have no excitement for this at all. Like I'm just like whatever. I'm waiting
Which
to
are
hear the
Mandalorian
part of
or
the trilogy.
the
that they're
next
gonna
trilogy?
announce.
Yeah.
Until I actually see it, I have zero excitement for it. Zero.
Yeah, I'll watch
I-
it.
I
do you know
just
I don't
don't
give a
care
shit about it.
I would be
It's gonna
down
be-
for like an Old Republic trilogy.
They're no,
Or
no,
I
no.
guess
really.
they call it the High Republic.
They're not giving you old stuff. They're giving you
I know,
continuation stuff.
But like, I would prefer because I think sometimes when a story gets to a certain point where you've defeated the big bad guy, you can't continue and keep ramping that up. You need to go back and just like, oh, let's
Well-
see what things were like before.
And even at this point too, they were like, "Here's the big bad guy. Here's how he started. Now he's good again, and we killed the super bad guy. The super bad guy came back. And
No.
They killed him, and somehow.
I don't want to
And
see a
now-
prequel right now. Like honestly, I don't want a prequel right now.
No, I
I
want
need
to.
I need to see
What we're
progression.
saying is a prequel, which just means we're
I don't-
not going to tie anything together. This isn't this is how this started. This is just like we're still in the same universe. There's still lightsabers and space wizards, but nobody
I'd
who
rather see a
fucking
Disney
you know
Plus
the
of
name
that.
of
Make
nobody
Disney
you
Plus
know
of
the
that.
name of exists. So it's just like here's a fresh start. That's the High Republic.
Alvin, I think you got to play some of the Old Republic games just because it is that time that I know you don't want to see, but the
No,
story
no.
so
I'm not
good.
saying I'm not interested in it. What I'm saying is make them Disney Plus. Give it time to like breathe. Don't make a movie because you have to cram everything into one
Sure.
movie, right? Give it
Oh, yeah.
seasons. Let it breathe.
Sure.
Give it an open
Oh,
big
yeah.
world, right?
Okay.
Let it breathe. Let it go on Disney Plus. People can really get in and sink their teeth into it. Look
Yeah.
forward to it for a few seasons. Maybe do 3 seasons or 4 seasons if it's really popular. I'd rather see that because
Sure.
to me, then that you're showing a little bit more than just cramming it into one movie,
Yeah.
right? I want to see progression. Like, yes, Palpatine was bad, Vader was bad. Those were the ultimate bad guys. But there's gotta be people out there in the writers' room that could be creative and create another terrible human or character out far another galaxy, or
I mean, fuck, give
or-
Thrawn a movie.
flip the
Revan.
switch. Flip the
Give
switch.
Revan a movie.
No. Flip
We
the
all want
switch.
a Revan
Make the
movie.
make the Jedi the bad guys this time.
Who would play Revan? Actually, you know what? That'd be
Keanu
easy. 'cause
Reeves.
You never,
I was just gonna say Keanu
You never-
Reeves.
you never see his face, and it's all voice
Yeah.
modulated, and they would have to do that because nobody. Well, they had him like some bearded, like hunk-looking dude in the Old Republic with scars on his face, so they gave him a
Rarely
face.
see
and-
him without that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
No.
what else-
You see him a lot in the Old Republic.
What about
Oh, yeah,
what are your
because
thoughts on
you
this?
were
What if we
him.
switched? What if
No,
we
no,
switched-
not KOTOR. In
And
the Old Republic, you
he's
see.
got the mask on in there.
No, he takes it off, and he's got a bunch of like weird scars on his face. You see him in there's
Let me
the
quickly-
raid that you fight him in. He doesn't have the mask on, and you see the ghost of Revan. And then there's also the cult of Revan, and they show you a bunch of like holograms and shit of him. You see his face constantly.
Let me see. I need a refresher because I haven't played with. Oh yeah. I remember. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
here's a
was like
theory.
funny to me.
Hear me out. What if we made the Jedi the bad guys this time around?
They are the bad guys. They're the Catholic Church.
I meant in the new.
I've been
trilogy.
saying this for
Windu.
years.
I mean the
Mace
new
Windu
trilogy.
is a bad guy.
Oh,
But what time period would you make them the bad guys?
in the future,
but they're dead
like
now.
right now,
They're
like
gone.
now,
the
they're
Jedi
like,
have ended.
yeah.
the Jedi.
Rey's
the
killed them
Jedi
all.
are bad.
There's no way for them to come back. How?
Yeah, she
All their stuff's
buried
destroyed. It would
it.
be a new group.
Yeah, new
buried.
group. They're
Oh,
all
yeah.
bad.
But then you're getting into just like
They're
no,
Sith.
no, because then you know what? Because it's Disney, and it's gonna be after all of the movies, and you're gonna be like, now Jedi are bad. They're all gonna be fucking 15 years old, and they're all gonna be edgy as shit. They're gonna be like, we're Jedi.
They're gonna rip their
we're
shirt off. They're
saving.
gonna do a dance sequence together on TikTok.
They're
They've got
gonna
like
have
a
like
bang hanging over one eye.
they're gonna have a
just
studded
one eye
bracelet
showing.
that they got from fucking like
They'll have nose earrings and
Yeah,
piercings.
yeah.
Pandora.
no.
Oh,
And then they're gonna try
No.
adding like some
No.
modern slang and giving them some sass.
lip earrings, a guitar. Yeah,
Neck tattoos.
yeah. There you go. Neck tattoos. Tattoos on their arms, like even musical tattoos on their arms.
Yeah.
That's what I think that's gonna happen.
They're gonna have like some H.R. Geiger stuff.
Yeah. One of
Yeah.
them will have like a talking Chihuahua robot,
Yeah. Who's just riddled with autism.
but then he presses the button and the fangs just drop out of the Chihuahua's mouth. It just goes for the jugular.
yeah. It's gonna have a cool jean jacket on and a patch.
The tail's a lightsaber.
Yeah, yo. Lightsaber
I'm just saying,
whips.
Disney, there's a way to
Lightsaber whips
do this. Yeah.
are no longer canon, and those were fucking cool in the extended universe.
I mean, what a way to pay homage to Indiana Jones by having a lightsaber whip.
Honestly,
I mean,
it
talk
looks
about
pretty
merging
cool.
two IPs.
Did you notice? I don't know if we talked about this. There was Indiana Jones's whip frozen in carbonite in what's his name's shop in Andor.
What?
He Luthen in the back of his shop.
Oh, really?
He had
How
Indiana
did we
Jones's
miss
whip
that?
frozen in carbonite.
Oh, we missed that.
How did you miss it, Nathan? Is the real question.
I always had trouble seeing stuff in the back because I'm kind of stupid. I just like focus on the main details. I see exactly what you're talking on, and I'll be honest, I fully understand why I missed it because that does not look like a whip.
No, it just
Like,
looks
it
like
only-
a like piece of shit. Like it looks like a like you know the poop emoji.
Yeah,
honestly,
it does look like it. It only looks like a whip when you know it looks like a whip, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean
kinda
that's
make it
the
out.
best part of like Easter eggs is like you only know it's there if you know.
Yeah,
If
So
you-
then it's
Iron
not
Man
like
armor's in
"Hey,
there,
look,
too."
but at that point, someone can just randomly just say stuff from Disney and just say, "Yeah, that was this was that," just to make it appealing, right?
yeah.
This
But
got
if
no
we're-
time.
Okay, if we're talking about Star Wars movies, which is to say that like we don't want a prequel or
No.
like an extension of a story that already exists, unless it's a let's bring this into the live action kind of thing. And I think pulling from like I think doing a Star Killer movie or a Revan movie or
But are we now going back in the past then?
no, but I'm saying nobody gives a fuck about Star Wars movies now. Like Star Wars TV shows, like again, I've brought this parallel up before. Before it was the Star Trek TV shows were awesome and the movies were ass, and now the Star Wars TV shows, now the Star Wars TV shows are awesome and the movies are ass. So
Yeah.
they do this all the time because when the prequel trilogy came out, that's when they started having cool Star Trek movies, and then the Star Trek TV shows were ass, and they flip every like 10, 15 years.
No two can be alike.
Yeah. So now I think instead of Star Wars, no longer the movies are the main thing because nobody fucking cares about them. So now that you're putting all your money into the TV shows, which you fucking should, and put all the good writers in there, now you just have somebody who wants to do a passion project and you get movies like Rogue One, where we're going to do a one story spinoff. I have a vision, I have a story, and sure, Disney and Iger or whoever the fuck or George Lucas, like get him more involved and just be like, okay, here are the stipulations and here's the parameters that we need for this movie. And then you get somebody who brings them a script and goes like, I have this idea about this character, about this, and I want to tell this story. And they go, okay. And it's not like, okay, how can we franchise this? How can we do blah, 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 blah. We just go, here's this fucking cool, like again, I bring up UK TV shows a lot because like I love their mentality of telling stories. It's just like
Yep.
here's 2 seasons of a story that we want to do, and then we're gonna fuck off and do something else. Like it's gonna be all the same actors, same writers, same directors, or whatever. But it's like this story's done.
Yeah.
We're moving on. And if Star Wars or Disney for that matter could just kind of take that mentality and just be like, here's a cool story that we want to tell. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next one because then it's focused. It does what it wants to do. And then 5 years down the line, that movie fucking blows up and everyone's losing their shit about it and goes more, then they go, okay, we'll make a TV show or like a mini series, and we'll do like 5 episodes of here's what he did on the Saturday, and you're like, cool, I get to see my guy again.
Yeah,
But it's not it's not driven by passion. It's not the movies anyway. Like Dave Filoni is fucking, and what's his name? The other guy. Chef. Come
or
on.
RD.
No. He was in Chef.
Kevin.
He's Paz Vizsla.
God, I'm blanking now.
Not directory. Jon Favreau. I can never fucking remember his name. Like Jon Favreau
I just have one of those
and Dave
things-
Filoni.
I didn't say anything, and I knew.
Fuck you.
I had one of those things where it's like, as soon as someone's like, "Oh, what's that guy's name again?" you immediately forget. Like you knew a second
I just
before,
sitting there.
but
I'm
as
like,
soon as
yeah,
they ask,
let
you're
him,
like, "Oh,
let him,
shit."
let him twirl a little bit.
Do you know what I want?
Ugh.
And I know we will not get. I want a Solo 2 movie. I want to see more of the
Why?
underworld of Star Wars. I want to
Yeah.
see the underworld of Star Wars, and I
No,
like
no,
the
no.
smuggling. I like.
Would you
I like
stop with
bounty
the
hunting, I like
underworld?
all
You
that.
say this all the time.
I know
Star
but
Wars
it's because-
1313 is one of the most disappointing things that never
Yeah.
came out because that was nothing but that. I want to, again,
Make
all
it a
of my
TV show.
favorite. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, not a movie,
Do-
TV show.
Yeah.
I would just like to okay. See, Nathan, I get the appeal of an underworld, but here's what I would love to see: just an average Joe living in the underworld, no powers, no connection to the mob, nothing. Just a survivor.
Andor.
That's
Just a
Andor.
survivor.
Andor.
Just-
That's
no, and-
Andor. That's why we
no,
love
fuck
Andor, so
I don't want
much.
to talk about that shit. Don't ruin my mood here. I'm talking about the actual underworld of Coruscant,
He is.
where
Mhm.
He's
someone
like.
is.
No, of course.
Andor is not in Coruscant. Stop talking about Andor.
Okay, yeah,
You're
okay.
right.
He's not from
You
there,
are
but
just
he's
saying
the
you want
average guy.
Cyril. You want Cyril to have his own movie.
Oh
He's
god.
The Jewish mom,
Oh,
the
no,
job that he
no,
hates.
no.
Yeah. That's the
sounds
underbelly
like
of
they do.
Coruscant.
I'll be honest, I'd watch that just
I
because
would
it's something
watch the
different.
shit out of that.
Actually, I might have watched that too.
He was your favorite character.
Yeah, I might have watched that too.
Where
He
is
was
the
pretty good.
Cyril figure? Okay, Hasbro, talking to you.
Oh,
Where's the
yeah,
Cyril
there's
Karn?
one.
Cyril Karn figure.
And he doesn't play like a small, like he had a decent
he's a
role
big-
in that.
This is a big,
Yeah.
big deal. I don't
I
know.
guess because people thought it would be too plain looking.
Well, he's got
No,
different
it's
hats.
like-
Let's get different hats.
He's got 2 hats. There wasn't many figures for
Whoa.
Andor actually. There was obviously Andor and B2 Emo.
Well, Disney didn't put a ton of money into promoting it, and making merch for it. It was just kind of like a test product. I feel like
I kind of
they're just testing the waters.
Well,
a bit.
again, it was and I'm still very impressed with the fact that this was the first Star Wars property that did not have a lightsaber. Period.
yeah.
They hinted
I like
at it.
that.
And
I have a
they
feeling
dangled Luthen's cane in there a lot. There were so many close-up shots of him spinning his extendo cane, and everyone's like, "Is that a lightsaber?" And they're like, "We're not going to give it to you." It's
And even
like-
when he did use a cane, they didn't really like when he was beating people with it. It's like, was he even beating anyone? I can't even remember him using it that much.
I don't think he ever did. No, he just used it for walking.
Because, yeah, but like, it's one of those things.
We still don't
you're
even
right, that
know
they
if it's
tempt
not a
you.
lightsaber.
We
Could still be.
no, I think there's a good chance it's not though, because we've seen it in
Yeah,
its
I know it's not.
extended form, and the only thing is they didn't do good color correction. Like it just was a different color in one scene to the compared to the
Yeah,
other.
yeah. The props team kind of fucked up, but again, that just fed into the conspiracy theories.
Yeah. I wonder if they did that on purpose. They're like, well, let's try
they
it.
might have
Let's just get some people to talk about this. Make them think that there's like a Sith or a Jedi in here.
Because I
No, we're
legitimately
just
put
fucking
those
with
two
ya.
scenes. I put those 2 scenes side by side, and he was wearing the same jacket, and the color was the same. It was a different prop. So either somebody fucked up, which is fine, that happens totally, or that was absolutely intentional, so that people would start losing their shit and thinking it's a lightsaber. I mean, it worked either way.
If that was intentional, genius. Like,
Yeah.
we're just going to change the color something just a little bit, enough to make them
Yeah.
think that it's a different entire weapon.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
We're gonna put buttons and
Yeah.
some lights on it and make it a wood grain on this one so that people on the internet will start talking more.
Yeah. Okay. Enough with that. What are you thinking?
I was like, no, let's get out.
What? Maybe here's what when we talked about the new Star Wars movies, and we're thinking that they're gonna do like harsh, teeny bopper stuff. What if they do like a Power Rangers where they all get the different color lightsaber? That would be so freaking annoying, man. You could see them doing.
I don't
that,
want to see
though.
a rainbow lightsabers.
Remember those guys in the speeder bikes? They're coming back. They're coming back.
I
And
really
they're all
hope
gonna get a power upgrade.
Oh
They're all
God,
gonna
what
get a
color is your
lightsaber each.
Bugatti? What color is your bike?
Yeah.
I don't
Mine's
want to see
green.
them again. Oh,
Yeah, one's gonna get a green one, one's gonna get a blue one, a red one, a yellow one,
Purple one.
purple one,
no one else can do
Pink
purple.
one.
There's only one man
Pink
that can
No,
do
pink
purple.
one.
that's true.
pink one.
Mara Jade.
She had a pink one, didn't she?
I think it was like amethyst, so it was like kind of purple,
Amethyst. Oh, look at
kind
you
of pink, kind of purple.
digging into your color bags. Amethyst.
I think. Let me just look it up. I think it was purple.
Mara Jade also was married to Luke Skywalker.
She was.
Hot damn.
Yeah.
Luke getting
Mhm.
around, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Man, he picked a good one.
Yeah.
There was a Mara
hold
Jade.
on.
There was a Mara Jade statue that I wanted to buy,
Yeah.
and I
Wait,
missed
there's a
out
ru-
on it, and it immediately went up.
What's the rumor? Hold on, Nathan. Oh, this just in.
This is from last year.
Oh,
So,
jeez.
or 2 years ago, actually. Now,
Oh, God.
2021, that she was gonna play. Who's she? Captain Marvel was gonna play.
Brie Larson?
Mara Jade.
No,
yeah, Brie Larson
No
was
way.
gonna play.
No way. That's
Like she
all
looks
fake
similar,
news.
but
That's
I
fake
don't think
news.
she'd be good.
Don't ever say that again. That's fake news. I do not want
It's
Brie
just
Larson ever to play anything ever in
You
Marvel
said you don't
or
mind
in
her.
Star Wars. She's so terrible at it.
Was it the script though in Captain Marvel, or was it her?
No, it was her. It wasn't the script. I mean, that
What
was
other
part of it.
stuff
But
has she
still,
been in?
she's
I can't
horrible.
remember.
I don't
She
even
can't
know.
act. She can't act as a superhero at all.
Scott
No,
Pilgrim. She's been in.
She was in Scott Pilgrim. She was really good.
She wasn't a superhero though.
Yeah, but she's in 21 Jump Street too.
Oh god.
What else was she in?
The only movie that she was good in
that's
is
good.
the one that won an Oscar. Or was her and a girl in a room?
No, just
She was good in that movie. I'll give her that. But no, she can't act in superhero genres.
she's in Good Will Hunting. She's in Green Lantern. I'm just naming the big things. I'm ignoring all the. She's in Gran Torino. I don't even know what role she played then. I
don't
love
even
Gran
know.
Torino. It's such a good movie. She's listed as Brie Larson, but they don't actually put a name for the character under her.
Maybe she was an
That's
extra.
odd. I guess it sounds weird that they'd.
Or extra plus,
guess
like
her-
those people that show up for like 2 seconds, say one word, and that's it.
Yeah. No, that's
There's a
true.
bunch of people out there in Hollywood that made a career doing that.
No, that's true. Fair enough.
Yeah, no, I just found her acting as a superhero specifically cringy. Very, very she just didn't fit the role. They tried, but it just didn't work. And
Yeah,
I would not
no, I
want her
get
to see
that.
in Star Wars. I would not want her to see her in Star Wars. Especially when we got so many other talented people that could do that role.
I want to see a movie about Jan Orris. And
Mhm.
I won't. Well, they're not going to do any like extended universe stuff
Yeah.
because they've already kind of recreated Kyle Katarn Like that's Andor.
Hmm.
And they're not gonna do a Revan thing because they'll just disappoint every Revan fan because they're weird.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah. Like he's so
all they can
loved.
all they can do is a copy paste of the story that's already told, or else it. Now, okay, actually, this kind of brings us into
Last of Us.
The Last of Us. Because that's so far what this show has been. It's just like here's pretty much and so I watched a little bit of your guys' podcast talking about The Last of Us.
Did you see our scores, or have you
No.
made sure that you didn't see that yet?
Yes, I did that.
Okay.
I didn't see your scores. I watched, I think, the first 20 minutes, a half hour, something like that. And
Oh, just before we begin, sorry. Just to mention to everybody, we're in the after hours now. We've just finished the Bad Batch, and we did a little bit of a Star Wars talk about the Mandalorian trailer. Just getting into the after hours, we're just kind of shooting the shit here. Hang out with us, whatever. Leave us a message in the chat if you want us to answer questions. By the way, who I would love to see Charlize Theron play. What's her name? Mara.
Mara Jade?
Yeah, Charlize
Charlize
Theron.
Theron? She's too old.
No, man, don't say that.
She's too old.
Well, you
No,
want
older
Emma
Mara?
Watson? You want Emma Watson instead?
No, she's not.
I
Wrong
think
Yeah,
Charlize
that's
can
enough.
pull it off. I think Charlize can pull it off.
Hold on.
You
Charlize.
dye the hair a little bit, She's got the curves.
Do you know who? What's the actress?
Don't you say
in-
Jennifer Lawrence? I'll smack you right now.
No.
No,
Avatar
no.
1, the first Avatar movie, the helicopter pilot.
Oh, from Fast and Furious.
She's got a badass. I think she's in that too.
No.
She's got a badass attitude that would
No.
fit really well.
Nah.
Helicopter
I know
pilot.
she doesn't look anything like it.
No,
but-
she's from Fast and
Avatar.
Furious. You know the female from Fast and Furious.
Oh, she was also an alien.
Yeah, Vin Diesel's.
Yeah.
role.
I hate her.
What about Kate Beckinsale?
No, you
No?
don't get well-known names. That's not a Star Wars thing. You get an unknown actor. That's always been their MO. And
Maybe they should change their MO because it's been hidden blanks.
no,
Well, do you know what? For Star Wars hasn't. They're pretty good with their unknown actors.
Well, Pedro
In
wasn't
general,
an
and I-
unknown. Pedro was pretty good.
Oh yeah, no, he's good. But I'm talking
No.
about like the movies.
he
John Boyega, and even the
John
actress for
Boyega
Rey,
was
like,
unknown.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm
didn't
saying
get-
they're unknown, but I won't criticize them for the job they did. That was bad.
Yeah.
They
No,
were
no,
good
absolutely.
at their job.
Mhm.
everyone in apart from a couple people all of the actors, there's no person really in the new trilogy that I'm like that's a shitty actor or they shouldn't have been in this movie. It was just like, oh, this is written terribly and nobody talked to each other.
Mhm.
But every actor, I was like, I believe that they are this person. But and Star Wars is always, not always, but to your point, Pedro Pascal, he's been in Narcos.
Yeah, he was
and-
popular.
Yeah, but that was a Netflix show. This isn't. Nobody get I'm talking about.
But I remember when they casted him, I'm like, oh, this dude is awesome.
Yeah, but the same could be said about Harrison Ford when he was first coming into Star Wars to play on Solo. He'd been in a couple things, and you'd
Yeah,
be
but
like, oh, he's awesome.
I'm just going on what you're saying, that unknown characters were actors were hired or relatively unknown. But I'm just saying Pedro wasn't, and you just double down on saying Harrison Ford as well.
Yeah, I'm
Just out of
saying that a
curiosity-
couple of people who saw the Narcos thing, which isn't a lot of people, he
Dude,
wasn't
it's
in the
worldwide.
zeitgeist.
It was worldwide.
Justin, did you see Narcos?
I watched the first 4 episodes.
Okay, so
You watched it
missed a lot.
before The Mandalorian came out, or after?
Yes, I watched it when it was
Okay.
released. Yeah, and I don't remember
I've
Pedro
never
Pascal
seen it.
being in it. I don't. I vet like when the Mandalorian was announced, and I was like, oh, Pedro Pascal's in it. I was like, who's that? And then I
Okay,
watched
so-
like a good chunk of it. And I was like, oh yeah, that guy, because I wasn't like, because that show was just like really good. But I never was able to get super into it.
So
yeah,
yeah,
fair
but
enough.
But then I was like, oh, it's the guy from Narcos. Oh, okay, he'll be good. But I wasn't like, oh, this show is gonna be good because of him. I was just like,
but that
oh,
was
yeah,
me
that
though.
show
That
good.
was me because I watched all of the Narcos, all of them.
Yeah.
And when they announced him as Mando, I'm like, this guy is awesome. Like, because what he did in the Narcos was amazing. So my view was like, this guy's already hyped. This guy's already big
Mhm.
because that show went international. People were talking about Narcos. It was insane. The
Yeah, but-
popularity of that is worldwide.
But I still think so. That was his like I wouldn't even call Narcos his breakout role. I would say Mandalorian was his breakout role because Narcos was like the first thing that he was in that people cared about. And then they were like, oh, okay. And that validated him. So then he could get this role, right? And it wasn't so much like I'm saying in general, a lot of Star Wars actors are unknowns, not saying that they've never acted and nobody knows them, but they're not a household name. And I don't think Pedro Pascal was a household name before.
Okay, I'm gonna blow your mind a little bit.
Sure.
I don't think that Mandalorian wasn't what made him a household name. You know what made him a household name? Not
What?
even Narcos.
Don't say The Last of Us.
No.
Okay, good.
He played a character in the Game of Thrones TV show.
I forgot he was in Game
and
of
he
Thrones.
got brutally killed.
Yeah, he
that
died
had
hard.
ripple effects around the world. The mountain killed him, right? The mountain.
Yeah, Mountain fucked him up.
Yeah.
Speaking of Pedro Pascal and also Game of Thrones, there's a bunch of Game of Thrones people are in The Last of Us too.
Yeah. The talent is real.
Well, I
man.
guess it's HBO, so that makes sense.
Well,
Yeah.
even the girl, right? She's one of the houses, right?
Ellie, yeah, she
Yeah.
was. Yep.
And Pedro was also in Kingsman: The Golden Circle.
Wait,
He
which was that, the
was.
second one?
Second one,
2017.
Statesman. He
The
played
Golden Circle.
Whiskey.
Okay. Oh, I remember. Yeah. He was
Yeah.
beside.
Yeah, the guy who ended up being the bad guy the whole time.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
So for me, I already knew who this guy was. I already knew the talent behind this guy.
Sure.
So when he was cast as, I'm like, and
All right.
and
Then let me
What year was
rephrase.
that?
Then in this point,
2017.
because also like John Boyega, I knew about him before the new Star Wars.
He did
trilogy,
UK
'cause
TV show, did he not?
He did. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew
So
him from there. Yeah.
Same.
Do you know what he was big?
from the
I
block?
changed my
Was that the
tune.
name of the show?
Sorry?
Or the
Say
movie?
that again,
the
Nathan?
Block? Or no, Attack on the Block?
No,
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Elvin, I stand corrected. I originally was agreeing with Justin because I couldn't remember him anything, but now going back, yeah, he was in some stuff that I've watched. I
Like,
just forgot
his
him.
trajectory was going high.
Yeah.
right?
He wasn't a bad actor. He was a good actor the whole time. It's just I think The Mandalorian was his first big role where he played.
It was his
the
first
central
starring
character.
role. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's what I mean. So like Star Wars generally doesn't cast like, oh, we'll get Matt Damon to play Luke Skywalker, or we'll get this big name. Like it doesn't. Star Wars casts people because they will do a good job, not because they will make people watch the movie.
Or you can
So,
say it this way:
When
Star
you're
Wars
saying
cast-
like we'll get Charlize Theron to play Mara Jade, it's like, well, people will watch that movie because Charlize Theron's playing it, and that's not a thing that Star Wars usually does.
can't watch it because get out of here. Ban this guy.
She all for life.
No, okay, but why not change? Why not? You've tried this and it's been a success, but it's also been a failure.
But
Not
that has
because of
nothing
the
to do with the
actors. I know,
actors.
not because of the actors, but why not change things? Why not bring in well-known
I
and
love that.
well-established? right?
Because
That's what
then there's the suspension of disbelief. If you're having this huge space opera in this completely different galaxy, land far, far away, a long time ago, whatever, if you see Matt Damon rock up, you're going to be like, that's Matt Damon. And then you're going to have to try extra hard.
Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne.
Jesus Christ, it's Jason
what is
Bourne.
he doing? No,
If
I
he-
don't. I don't buy into that. I don't buy into that at all. I think we've had plenty of other genres where we've had big actors move on to other places. I mean,
Sure.
one of them you just mentioned, Indiana Jones went to Han Solo.
I'm going to take
Right?
middle ground for this. I think you guys are both right. I think it depends on the actor, though. I think if they took someone like The Rock or actors that are just too iconic.
But they have. The
and they
Rock's
put
been on
them in a role.
everything and anything. This guy is.
I
like
know,
the-
but if you shove The Rock
he's
in
like
a
a
major
slut in
starring
Hollywood
role
right
in
now.
Disney,
Right? He's been everywhere. Like seriously, he wants his hands in everything. If he is probably looking for a Star Wars role right now.
He's watching the Bad
I
Batch,
hope
being like,
Yeah.
this is my fucking.
I
this
could be
is my
Wrecker.
guy.
I could be Wrecker.
Wrecker, yeah.
Like, there are some roles. No, I'm not saying it's a good thing.
I think
I'm
maybe
just
they
saying-
have to take a different approach now, just because it's so badly in the mud right now, the IP itself. And if it wasn't for Mando and shows like the Bad Batch, and I guess you could say Andor, holding it on its way on the weights of going down like the Titanic right now. I just think that you need to change it up. Throw in some
Well, I
big
think-
name. actors in
Honestly,
there.
I think The Mandalorian and Andor are the reason why people still care about this franchise.
And it's sad.
It is.
Both of them
But-
have one thing. What do both of them have? No
Pedro
Jedi or Sith,
Pascal.
right?
Yeah,
That's the
this
worst.
is what I've been saying for
Like,
fucking
that's the worst
years.
scenario, right?
No,
there.
but this is what I've been saying for fucking years. Is like every time, like before the new trilogy, when a new Star Wars game was announced, I would just be like, "Oh god, it's another Jedi story." Like I don't fucking care about Jedi. Like after Episode 3 came out, I was like, "Okay, I no longer give a shit about Jedi." And like Jedi Knight, that game series was one of the only ones I would not. I don't want to say tolerate because I fucking love those games, but like Kyle Katarn started as a stormtrooper, stole the Death Star plans, and then fucked up stormtroopers. And I was like, this is cool. And like, that's a guy who I grew up with and the character and games that I grew up with. But like every other game that came after that, I was just like, even when the Old Republic came out and I played the shit out of that MMO, I didn't touch the lightsaber motherfuckers until the end. I was like, I'm gonna do the trooper, I'm gonna do the bounty hunter, I'm gonna do the Imperial agent, and I'm gonna do the smuggler. And then I'm like, okay, I guess I'll be a fucking cunt with a lightsaber.
the
I
coolest
like-
thing. The coolest thing
Yeah.
in Star Wars.
But I played the Sith. I played the Sith Inquisitor and the Marauder. No, what was the brute Sith class?
Can't remember. I didn't play Sith
The
very
Sith
long.
Inquisitor and then the Sith Juggernaut. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, that was
I played
But
them.
that's a class,
them
subclass.
first. That is a class. There's Marauder, Juggernauts, and anyway, I
Isn't
played them
Juggernaut
first, and then I was like, okay, I'll go play the Jedi, and then I played the Sentinel because I was like, that's kind of the offshoot. Like, I don't want to just see a fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi story or a Luke Skywalker story or a
Yeah.
fucking Qui-Gon Jinn story. I want to see like a more like diplomatic guy or whatever. I want to see the behind the scenes people because like I want to see those stories flushed out.
That's one reason why I love playing the bounty hunter, though, is because you come across people in Star Wars that usually would be, like kind of one of the main characters. You come across the Kenobi types of people.
Yeah.
Oh, we're here for peaceful resolution. But if
You're
you
like,
mess
"Fuck
with me,
you."
I will. Yeah, like I'll kill you, and you're like, "Fuck off! I'll just shoot
You're
you."
like, I
in
got a rocket
second."
launcher and a fucking flamethrower, bitch.
Okay, let me
It's great.
let me give you a potential movie movie they could do or trilogy they could do is what if you had a Sith that Jedis, like maybe an iconic Sith that we knew about in the past, like you said Revan, maybe somebody iconic who jetted out of the galaxy into another far, far away galaxy and were just hiding.
Sounds like Revan.
from- I'm just giving.
That's what happens.
Can I finish? Okay. So he's hiding because he's afraid of the Jedi. He's just hiding whatever, and maybe he comes across a young human being or whatever, an alien that gives him a chance, helps him out, whatever he's struggling to eat, whatever it is, and he trains this one, but he sort of realizes what he's done in the past and how terrible he was, and he's hoping this is his redemption thing. I think that would be a pretty cool thing, like finding somebody in the slums or living in the slums,
Like rags to
helping.
riches, but on the Sith side.
Yeah, but the Sith side, and then say, you know what, I was wrong. I was a Sith. Here's my chance to fix it. This guy or this person will help fix it because he deals with even more shittier, evil people in his
Mhm.
surroundings, right? I mean, that might be a cool thing. It's something different.
I mean,
Right?
hopefully, like, because there's
Oh.
Acolyte, which is coming out, which
I don't
is
know anything about this.
so it's from what I can remember, what I know, it's kind of more of a like it's a Sith acolyte. So you're seeing again from the other side,
Mhm.
and it's not like all these guys are bad, and it's going to be much more like, oh, the Jedi, they have this dogmatic religion, and they're eccentric and they're fucking crazy, and so it's going to be kind of a story from that. But having not a core world story of a Sith would be fucking cool because
Yeah.
you would see like
And
this
then
guy.
this person, even though they're good, has good intentions, will have more of a Sith type of combat skills, and also would not care about the Jedi Order. It's like I don't
Well, and
know who
they're
the Jedi is. I don't give a shit. I've been trained by a master, and I don't care about Jedi, but I'm still gonna do good in a way, right?
Mhm.
To be
I'm not
honest,
gonna be
I've seen
bound
too
by the
many-
Jedi rules.
I've seen too many redemption stories by Star Wars recently.
It's
To be
not a
honest,
redemption
too
story.
many
It's a
cases. Well, like he's a bad guy, but then he becomes good. I haven't seen
No,
it.
no,
from
he doesn't
Sith.
I think-
become
I think,
good.
like,
He's
I think
trained
more of the
somebody
human-
else. He trains somebody else who gets the training and gets all the teachings from him, but says, I don't know what you want to do, but I'm going to do it this way. And this person eventually realizes that this is probably the better solution because he also now has to deal with somebody who's more scummy than he is. And he's tried it his way and it's not working. So this person who he's trained, who he thought is going to be his apprentice, decide to be actually follow the good trail, right? And it doesn't, but that person is still not 100%. It's not like a Venom character. Like it's not 100% nice.
It's an anti-hero.
Yeah, an anti-hero, but it still is a lot better than this guy, right? And I think that anti-heroes are really cool these days. Everybody loves anti-heroes, right?
Mhm.
And I think we need something like that. Somewhere in the middle, but says, I'm still going to do a little bit of good, but I'm not going to be bound by Jedi's, archaic way of thinking. That's not me, right? I mean, and it has to be far away, and this will allow people to be more creative. It's nothing to do with any of the planets and stuff that we've been exposed to.
Well, I think that's what they
It
want
needs
to
to be
do
that
with
way, I think.
the High Republic. So instead, because then they're kind of if they just go to another planet and they've done a terrible job of making this galaxy, this universe, seem big because it's
It's just
there's 7
same
planets
old.
that they go
Yeah.
to. There's the
It's
desert one,
crazy.
there's the snow one, there's the forest one. Sometimes they'll put a different name
And
on
there's
it,
a
but it's the same
Metropolis one.
fucking place. Yeah. And then there's New York, and
And there's
so you got
New York.
Space New York, you've got Arizona, and you've got Malaysia. Like there you go. And so they fucking do that. But I think that's what they are allowing themselves to do with the High Republic is be like, this is before the Old Republic. This is before the shit that we know. Now we can kind of go into the gray Jedi because the Jedi aren't sure they're like in power and like whatever, but it's not the dogmatic organization that we know today.
But that has to be a Disney Plus show.
Oh, absolutely. No, well,
Because
that's
I
what they're
want
doing.
that aired out nicely.
I think
a course of
that's their
seasons.
plan is to do a High Republic. Like they've been doing books and they've been great. They've been doing comics.
Oh,
they've
I
been
love
great,
the
too.
audiobooks. I'm really into those Star Wars audiobooks.
Totally,
They're fantastic. Their
So they're
narration is
fleshing
great.
out the story and the setting, and it absolutely is. And it's not like they're not doing anything amazing. It's just the Old Republic but they're just giving themselves the license to not include any of those characters, which I enjoy because I'm just like, okay, just do new shit, please. So they are doing that, and they're not like, oh no, it's Tuesday, Luke Skywalker showed up, and you're like, oh fuck. So like it's like they're trying to get away from the 80s sitcom, like, oh look, it's the Fonz, applause.
It's the third time this week he's been here.
Yeah.
All right, let's kind of go and touch on The Last of Us a little bit. I don't want to talk
Yes.
too much into detail, but me and Nathan have done it. But Justin, we'll let you catch up and you can give us your thoughts on it. But for those of you who are listening or watching us on replay or live, we are doing The Last of Us breakdown every Sunday at 9:05 p.m. Why 9:05? Because the last show ends at 9, so we give 5 minutes chance to us to get down, turn our lights on, and everything. But 9:05 p.m. every Sunday, right after The Last of Us is done on the Western time zone, and we do a full breakdown on the show. That episode 2, drops this Sunday. So yeah, come join us. Ask us some questions, give her your thoughts. Love to hear your guys' opinions on it. And then also this Saturday, it's our bi-weekly show called Mighty Mornings. We do it every 2 weeks. Is look back on the 80s, 90s nostalgia stuff. Myself and Chris will be at 8:30 a.m. on Saturday morning. That's right. Saturday morning will never be the same again. Yeah, that's for sure, because I'll probably be just on the floor with my eyeballs rolling down. But yeah, so join us for those 2 episodes. And obviously we have our A&R Weekly every Monday nights at 8:30 p.m. and this show every Wednesday night at 9:45 p.m. All right, that out of the way. Let's hear Justin's thoughts on episode 1.
Okay. So
Have you played the game, by the way?
I played the shit out of the first one at launch.
So guess what I'm doing? It's pretty crazy.
You're playing through them.
Yeah. And
What part are you at right now?
So I bought the brand new one. The one just came out this year.
The remaster of the remaster.
Yeah. So it looks phenomenal, by the way.
Absolutely, it does.
I'm right now. I just chased down the battery guy in the very beginning, and I am. Oh, I just met the Firefly leader.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at right now. She is basically. I'm gonna be introduced to Ellie next. That's the next. That's the part.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna avoid spoilers.
Well, just talk about your thoughts of the episode 1, the actual.
So
show.
episode 1, I cried twice.
Well, what?
I teared.
Wait, did we cry? We didn't cry at all, right?
We didn't,
the
but
start?
it certainly was a gut-wrenching part of the start.
Like no, like I teared up
Okay.
twice through this episode.
Right, okay.
And like when but the thing is,
I never thought Justin would be that emotional.
Oh,
I never pegged you as an emotional person. I thought you just deflect.
No,
Whenever I go in for a hug, he's like, "Nope, not happening."
I have never fucking denied a hug in my life.
I think Michael's denied you for a hug.
I resent him every time for it. No, he never has. He is asking me for many.
Anyways, yeah. Go on.
So every person who played a character was phenomenal. I think Pedro Pascal, even though I know his voice as the Mandalorian, and that is solely what I see him as, or hear him as, rather.
My son came running into the room because he thought it was Mandalorian I was watching.
Oh, really?
Because he heard his voice from the other room. He's like,
what?
What?
He did a little bit of an accent, which is good. He didn't try too hard to emulate. Was it Troy Baker who voiced Joel?
I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure. Or no, Troy Baker plays his brother. Game voice actor. I think it's Troy Baker. Yeah, Troy Baker. Of course it is. It's a video game. Of course it's Troy Baker. And so he didn't try to emulate his voice too much, which is good. I thought the opening scenes. So essentially, what this show has been doing is telling the story that we love and that everyone has. This has been renowned as one of the best video games ever made, story wise. And it's not been a nostalgia thing, and it has not gone away. If you talk to somebody who doesn't play a lot of video games, they go, "Oh, well, I played The Last of Us," because that was the best version of. There was a lot of video games that were criticized for just like, oh, it's just a fucking movie. It's just nothing but cutscenes. Last of Us was probably one of the best examples of a way to tell a story and do a narrative movie game while still letting you feel in control and still doing shit. There was a lot of cutscenes. There were some quick time events, but for the most part, when it came to the gameplay, when you were moving around and sneaking around and just like putting a brick through a motherfucker's head, there was no point where you weren't going like, and like most video games, you're just like, and you kind of go cross-eyed and you get the game face on, you drool a bit or whatever because you're just so focused on the one thing. But like every intense combat thing in the game, you're just like, oh fuck! Like it was one of the most visceral, reactionary games that I have gotten people to play it. And I've just sat there and just like, no, I just want you to experience this game. Like, this is just an amazing piece of art. Hell yeah, Darth Gutierrez, we're still on. We've moved from Star Wars to Star Wars to Star Wars to Star Wars to Star Wars, and now we're on The Last of Us. It was one of the most visceral and like beautiful gaming experiences, and I just wanted other people to experience it. So like, I got people to play through it. And just, I wanted to see a new person experience it because it was amazing. This TV show is doing such a good job of sticking to the source material.
Isn't that amazing how you can just stick to the source material and the show can be great?
But hold on.
Oh, I'm hearing a but here.
There are some buts. And I'm not going to go into like, oh, well, now they don't do spores anymore. And now you can't contract it by spores. They don't wear gas masks. Like, I understand why they did that because you don't want them to just look like Avatar, where everyone's in a gas
actors don't want
mask.
their face covered all the time.
Exactly. You got to have big gas masks. Then you got to do audio stuff.
It's
it's
money
more
maker.
expensive, whatever. Exactly. It's Pedro Pascal. We want to see fucking daddy's face, okay? And we don't want to see it in a gas mask. And you don't want to have like, for like emotional, super intense shit, whatever. So like, totally understand. And they said that from like the beginning. They were like, from the beginning, we didn't want to do the sports thing because like, totally understand. Don't care about that. As somebody who has played through the games and loved them and have played through them a couple times, if we weren't doing this podcast, I would wait till it's all out. This is not a show that I am enthralled. I'm not like, oh, what's going to happen next? Because the first episode, and I think this is the proper way to do it.
But what if they did throw you a curveball?
Sure, but they didn't.
No,
and they had the first episode in. But in the first episode, they went, hey, remember that? Like, all the same thing happened. Okay, one thing I will say though, side note, when they're in the truck, one of the most video gamey references that is so subtle was the audio. So when she's looking around, and no movie or TV show does this because this isn't how sound works, but it's how sound works in video games. When you're looking around and you only hear audio from this side. So when like she's looking behind her and you hear somebody talk, you only hear it in like the right or left side. And it was just like, that's such a video game audio thing that is absolutely done intentionally. But it was just like, this is like spit and image of that truck scene from the game. Yeah. There were voice lines that were almost directly taken from it. The two parts that I like teared up at were when his daughter died. And like the second she shows up on screen, I'm just like, oh yeah, this bitch dies. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm dreading it the whole time. I love the fact that they took, and this is usually the opposite. Normally, TV shows and movies just show you the points and the footnotes where they just go, here's this important story bit, here's this important story bit, and we'll talk a little bit about it and we'll move on to the next thing because we only have 2 hours to tell you at most. And the biggest thing with video games is like, we can make this a 20-hour game. It doesn't fucking matter. So if we want to tell this story, we're going to go all in.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to see them just do, they would just go on a tangent and they would just be like, hey, remember this thing from the game? And you're like, oh yeah, the watch. They're like, all right, well, here's some more backstory on it. And you're like, cool. Like, oh, she goes to the watchmaker. Because like in the game, it was a huge thing. Oh, this is a present from my daughter. And you understand there's sentimental value. And he constantly had that. And there's references throughout the game and stuff. But just getting that extra like little 5 minutes of just like, oh, I do this. But also then going back and taking lines from the game. I'm just like, oh yeah, how'd you get this? This must be expensive. Yeah, I sold drugs. It's like that's directly ripped from the game too. And I still don't know if I like that yet.
What?
The direct
directly from the game?
Yeah.
I think it's great. I think it just goes to show you that the writing in the game was that good. That they could put it on
absolutely.
That they could put it into the show and it still works.
I agree with that.
I mean, I don't want plagiarism, but I don't mind dropping here and there because it's also a fan service too. People would geek out, right?
But then I don't get anything different.
Well, you did get something different in the action because Grandma came out of the doors fighting. You didn't have Grandma fighting in the game.
They had a similar thing. Joel kills somebody in the first like 5 minutes of the pandemic starting. It's not the grandma, so that they are taking like. I'm not saying that I was disappointed in anything. It was just when I hear a line from the game, I go, "Oh, yeah, they said that." So,
but that's your specific opinion, though, right?
Absolutely, no. There was no point where I was upset. Like when I was watching this show, I was like edge of my seat, even though I knew beat for beat what was going to happen. And still, when the army guy fucking shoots his daughter, I was just like, fucking hell. Like it hits hard.
It's gut wrenching. Yeah.
When you, at the end, when Ellie gets scanned, and I'm just like, oh shit, here comes this. And then Joel just beats the shit out of this guy. Like that's the second part that I was just like, oh fuck. And it's like the PTSD. And they leaned in a little harder in the show about the flashbacks. They didn't do that much in the game. They just in the game they were just like, here's a young girl that he's now protecting in army guys, or there was a couple or 2 or 3 or whatever in the game, but whatever. And here's some army people pointing a gun at her, and you see like a look, and then he kills them. But in the TV, like they flash back a couple times, and that's again when it was just like, and then he just punches the shit out of him until he's dead, and it was just like, fucking hell. I do love how Ellie is just like, it's a mixture of just like horror and also just like cool because she was born in this world, so she doesn't have the like her level of desensitization, I guess I'll say, because she was born in this world after this pandemic has happened. So she was just kind of like looking like neat, but also just like, you're fucking okay.
Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
So I think the actor who's playing Ellie is perfect. She's been great so far. I was really worried because Ellie's a fucking asshole, right? And she's a brat, and she doesn't trust anyone, and rightfully so. Like, I'm not talking character wise. Like, it's been anyway. I was really, really worried that they would be annoying, But so far, Ellie has been just fucking chef's kiss, perfect. The actor who plays her is just doing a phenomenal job. I loved that. What's her name? The leader of the Fireflies or whatever is played by the same person who played her in the game.
Marlene.
Marlene. Yep. So same person. She's the only one reprising her role.
Oh, interesting.
The voice actor for Ellie plays somebody in a later episode, actually. But yeah, so far.
So IMDb is still listing Troy Baker in the casting of this show.
Oh, Troy Baker will be in. Troy Baker is in everything.
But why? Because he's not he's not Joel.
If you don't know who Troy Baker is, pick any movie or any video game you've ever played. He does a voice in it. Period.
No, what I'm saying is, what are they going to use him for if Pedro is Joel? Joel.
He'll.
You know what I mean? Like, he is the voice of Joel. But if Pedro's playing him, what has Troy Baker been cast for then? Is he
I don't know.
Is he an extra that gets killed or something in there?
Probably.
Was he the battery guy?
Huh?
No,
he wasn't. He's really pretty, and has yeah.
Maybe he'll make a cameo or something, right?
I think he will.
Yeah,
it's only fair. Like Troy Baker and Nolan North will probably both show up in this movie or in this show
because they don't give his title. Like, what's his character? They just say Troy Baker. They don't name anything.
It would be cool to see him as like a front-facing character, but like I'm really excited to see the clickers. I'm so excited to see. I do like. Oh, another thing too. I notice a lot of gratuitous backpack taking off scenes where they kept taking their backpack off and like taking stuff out, but it wasn't like there's so many video game movies and TV shows that are just like, oh, this is like the Doom thing where like, look, it's first person. This was in the game. And it's just like, I get it. It's a video game thing. Okay. Oh, you're powering up. Oh, you're pressing A bunch. That's like they're doing the video game. But like the fact that Joel would just get home or like when they were gearing up or whatever, he just takes his backpack off and then pulls out his flashlight. It's just like, I've seen that animation 1,000 times and they fucking nailed it. When he takes his backpack, like it's not just, all right, take your backpack or look through your backpack. It was all right, we need to map this out so that it's similar to this, because he takes it off like exactly how it does in the game. And it's just like that's cool. Yeah. And they didn't like zoom in on it and give it music. Also, there was like no music in the show at all.
Very little. Only the ending.
There was so much silence that it was
creepy.
Yes, disturbing, and it was very intentional, and I loved that. There was so many scenes where I was like, they could have done like some dramatic string section to build up tension, but they didn't, and that makes it better. There were so many well done choices with the sound design and with the I guess you could call it the score, but there was very little music, and it really, really helped set the tone. And so all in all, this episode, I think I'm gonna give it a 9 because it is exactly what I hoped it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only not giving it a 10 because
it was a little predictable for you.
No, but that's the thing. I knew exactly everything that was going to happen, and they still affected me. And that's a credit to the writing. Well, no, not so much the writing.
So why?
I'm not saying just because I think it could get better. I don't think it's perfect. I think this is exactly what I hoped it to be. The direction, the camera work, the acting was absolutely fucking
9's
phenomenal.
a great score. 9's a great
for
score.
a first episode. Yeah,
that's a great score.
Justin,
what did you give it, Nathan?
What do you think? Or hold on, Justin, what do you think Elvin and I gave it? Out of what you think our preferences are, what do you think we gave it?
I think similar or well, Elvin probably an 8, Nathan probably a 9.
Nathan, what was your score?
I'm pretty sure I did a 9 or a 9.5.
Hmm.
I know, Elvin, I think we did the same scores. Or
Yeah, I
something
think it was a
really
9.5
close.
for both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I was very, very pleasantly blown away from this episode. Like I said, I haven't played the entire game like you have, but I think the first episode I've played enough where almost all of it is shown in the first episode, anyways.
Yeah.
And I compared the two, and I thought it was great because they didn't go exactly the same.
It wasn't, yeah, that like
But
it wasn't
the-
a shot for shot.
Yeah, but the changes they made also didn't take away from the story as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I appreciated that. I'm like, okay, you've made some creative differences,
Mhm.
but you're still respecting the story and not deviating too far away from it, which is a
Yeah.
problem with a lot of video game adaptation TV shows or movies.
Well, here's the thing. When Joel's daughter dies in the game, I don't think I cared. Like when they're showing the flashbacks of like, oh, here's how this shit started, and then his daughter dies, I was like, oh shit, that sucks, or whatever. But I think it's because they spent so much time developing her and showing that relationship. Because
Yeah.
obviously in the game, you get way more time to develop the father-daughter role kind of thing with Ellie. So they focus more on that. But they show like, here's why he's so drawn to Ellie and why he's so attached to her is because he's essentially just replacing, not replacing, but it's just like that he has that hole in him, and she is filling that hole as, you know, the daughter role and as a caretaker. So that's why he's doing that. So, but in this one, they spent most of the episode with his daughter, and the camera angles were all at her eye level too, until Joel picks her up, and then the camera moves up and it's now at his eye level because now he is taking care of her, and the rest of the episode is all at his eye level, but everything is always lower. So it was focusing much more on her, which definitely made that, because again, in the game, like she dies and I was just like, oh shit, anyway, when do I get
and I think the decision to give her more screen time in the beginning,
Mhm.
it made it more impactful, and I think that's the right call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's the right call because it sets him up now of being that cold and I don't give a shit attitude. Life sucks because, you know, I've got everything away sucked away from my life. My wife is gone, my daughter's gone, and I'm just this bummed now that's going to be drinking and pissing away life, right? And now here
We don't
comes
see anything about his wife before the pandemic.
Yeah.
No, nothing really.
Yeah. So they've but so the only thing that I was worried or am worried about, not I don't really, I wouldn't call it a concern, but it's just because it was so, there were so many direct pulls from the original that I wasn't, none of it I was surprised. But also too, to do a season of a TV show, there's a lot of artistic leeway that they can do in between. So like we have the beginning and they fucking nailed that. The end is gonna be a fucking roller coaster. There's a lot of in between that in the game is just like, well, we've already met the Fireflies, we got his brother. There's a lot of stories that they can now tell, because the middle bits, like there's not that there isn't a lot that happens. There's a lot that happens, but it's not necessarily like the getting strung up from the trap with the fridge. Like that's a big deal in the game. That would be shitty in a TV show. Like that's a quick time event in a video game, and it's a lot of intense shits and it's suspenseful. But in a TV show or movie, like that's not good TV. So like they're not going to focus on that. They might. Okay, I'll call it now. If he falls into a trap and a fridge falls and he gets strung up by his leg,
You're ruining it for me.
I'm going to be disappointed. No, I'm not, because this was in all of the trailers in the game. When they were showing the first Last of
I
Us,
did not even.
they
watch
showed
any
that scene. That
trailers.
was the playable demo. And they were like,
Okay.
look at the dynamics. Look, it's crazy or whatever. There's
Okay.
booby traps. Anyway,
Look at this fridge.
yeah,
But, I mean,
think there's going to be a lot of.
Look at the score. Look at the score we gave it. I
Yeah.
don't think we've ever gave anything that high right off the bat.
9
No.
2 9.5s. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever given any show that high of score collectively and the first episode. It's
Well,
the
usually
first for us.
pilot episodes they put a lot of effort in.
Mhm.
Even though
Yeah.
the story might not be at its top point, they still put in a lot of effort just to try and get people
As the
hooked
hook.
onto it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think by the end of the season, are we gonna have a score of 10 in any of the episodes?
Yes.
Okay, Nathan, you?
Oh, I think that. To be honest, no.
10 being
I think-
masterpiece, like it's perfect.
Yeah, I know. I think that I'll get too high hopes if I truly think that's going to happen. I think there's a greater chance
I
that we're
think-
going to get a couple more 9.5s or 9s,
Okay,
but I
But
think
not
a
a 10
10
though, right?
is reaching too far for me. Yeah.
okay. Oof.
I
I'm
think
hoping that
it's-
we get a 10, but I think we're gonna stick at 9 to 9.5, 9.5, which is still phenomenal. Like, I mean, here, what are you talking about here? You know, like it's still gonna be
Yeah.
an absolute through the roof show if it hits 9.5.
I think this
Yeah.
is HBO doing a gritty TV show showing the darkness of humanity, and this is their fucking bread and butter. So I think I would not be surprised if every single episode was a 9 at least. I don't yeah. If there's one thing that HBO knows how to do, it's short form, dark, disgusting stories. And the source material, they've already shown that they are going to respect it. If they I think worst case scenario, they just do a shot for shot thing of the game like they did in the first episode. And if the rest of the season is just the story that was in the game and I get to see Pedro Pascal do that, I think it'll be 8s or 9s throughout. I
Yeah.
think if they take a little, how many episodes does season 1 have?
9
That's a good-
episodes.
9 episodes?
Yeah, Darth. It's
How
9
long was the first one? It was like an hour and a half.
Yeah, hour and a half. Yeah. I don't know if all the episodes are hour and a half. I'll check that, but there are 9 episodes for The Last of Us, which is such a weird
HBO
number,
Well-
right? 9 is such a weird number. Like, why not 10 or 8? I mean, I don't want 8, but I want 10. But it's just, yeah, why we can squeeze one more out? Like, what? What?
No, I think that's a good stories in 3s. You get the build up.
Oh, would you stop with the 3s?
No, that's the rule of thirds. It's an art thing. It's the rule of thirds for a
Okay.
reason. It's you get the introduction, the build up, the payoff. The introduction, the build up, the payoff. So I think 9 does that well. 6 is too short.
Oh yeah, tell that to Disney,
Right.
please.
6 is too short. I think 9 is a good amount. Then you get 4 storylines, and that's a good here's the introduction, 3 episodes. Here's the something bad happens. They overcome that, and then they have the ending bits, the build up, and then you get the 3 episodes of the end.
Okay, so I've got the
Yep.
runtime for all the other episodes. So, episode, I don't know why they don't give episode 2, but episode 3, it's 76 minutes.
Right.
Episode 4 is 46 minutes. That's 30 minutes less than episode 3. That's a lot. That's a big drop off.
Hmm.
Episode 5 is 1 hour, so 60 minutes. Jumps back up again. Episode 6 is another hour. Episode 7 goes to 56 minutes, so you drop 4 minutes.
So 45
Episode-
minutes with credits.
Yeah, I'm just, I don't know. I'm just
Mhm.
giving what they're giving. I don't know what if it's including credits or not, but Episode 8 is 51 minutes, so you continue to drop again. And then episode 9 is only 43 minutes, the shortest of all the episodes.
Really?
That's.
Well,
I hope this is wrong. I went to a site called DexerTO.com.
Sounds legit.
Yeah, I guess. But if that's true, I don't like that because the last episode should be big.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the shortest of all of them. That's kind of disappointing. And like I said, I don't know if this site is legit or not, but yeah, man, that's not good. I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah, especially for such narrative-heavy stories.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a double entendre. Such a story-heavy story. But yeah, generally, and again, HBO generally does like, fuck it, this episode's 2 hours long. We could have broken this up into 4 episodes, make them half hour each, but no, this was 2 hours. Why? We just wanted to.
Yeah, I don't see anything else anywhere else giving a rundown, so it could be just fake. Who knows? I'll definitely look into it more.
You know where this was filmed, right?
Edmonton.
No, Fort Mac.
Edmonton.
Yeah. But
an offshoot of Edmonton.
yeah. This is where all the riggers live.
Which is cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
They
but
could use that money because didn't they have that giant fire a few years ago?
Nobody has ever said people in Fort Mac need money.
Yeah, they do. There was a giant fire that everybody lost their homes.
But they all have 4 homes.
I don't know if they have 4 homes, but the entire town was devastated. Do you remember that engulfing of flames?
Oh, yeah, I remember that now.
So,
yeah.
I mean, the fact that they're going there and injecting some money might be good for the city. Who knows?
Sure.
You're so like
nobody
right
has,
off of that.
Nobody has ever said somebody in Fort Mac needs money.
Well, I
do love
why.
all the people online who are like all the YouTube channels who are talking about this show now, and they're saying, "Oh, it was filmed in," and nobody has ever pronounced it right. So the full name is Fort McLeod, right? Everyone just calls it Fort Mac, or Rigtown. But I've heard so many terrible pronunciations. Like, oh, it's in Fort McLeod, Fort McLeod.
I've got
McLeod.
I've got Rotten Tomato scores here.
Was it 99, 96?
Yep.
98.
99 for 99 for the Rotten Tomato critics, and then 96 for the audience.
Yeah.
That's rare that they're both so close.
That's awesome right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I want to give a round of applause to the director, the writers, everybody involved so far.
Yeah.
Job well done. Thank you. You have now we have a baseline of what video games shows can be like.
Yeah.
Right here.
Oh,
is the line.
Wait. I don't when we talked about video game TV shows before, did we mention The Witcher?
No, we did not.
We didn't.
Well,
we kept thinking like, oh, what good content has been made from
we
video
were out of
games?
the box. We were thinking all kinds of nonsense.
Yeah. But also,
yeah, Witcher was good. Witcher was great. Yeah.
Witcher was, I didn't really. I watched, I think, like half. How many seasons? Has it only been 2 seasons?
Yeah.
I think I watched half of the first season, but it was mainly just because I didn't really play the games, so I didn't really care.
Oh,
but
I didn't play the game either,
I
but I still
appreciate
enjoyed it.
that it was good.
I mean, if it wasn't for Henry Cavill, forget it.
Yeah.
He
the
made that
games
show.
are good. You guys got to play the games. They're so good.
Well,
I own
you know,
the games,
you know,
and I've
I don't know if you
tried
know
to.
this, Nathan, but they're doing a full revamp of it.
Like a new.
No. Like, you know how The Last of Us just got the remastered version of it?
Good. That's
They're
why
doing-
I can't.
They're
That's why
doing a
I-
version that looks phenomenal with the new engine.
Okay, I don't care
Oh,
about
I'm
the
sure
looks.
that is,
I
but
care
I
about the
wanna-
controls. I couldn't play through the first 2. I own them both, and I've tried to play them, but the controls are just so garbage, in my opinion, that I played them for like a half hour or an hour, and I was like, I can't get into this. And then I was like, I'll go on The Witcher 2. and I was playing that, and I was like, oh, I might just hate the controls.
Mhm.
And I tried playing The Witcher 2, and I was just like, oh, okay, cool. I also hate this one. So if they
Can't
do a
remember the
revamp,
controls too well.
they're just really old.
Awkward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's old third-person RPG controls, and it's just really janky, and it did not age well.
So
It looks great,
I
but-
checked online for run times for the Last of Us, and it's skews heavily. It's anywhere between 46 minutes to 81 minutes. That's
Oh, okay.
that's not good. in
Well,
my
no,
opinion.
more than that. That's fine. If the shorter episodes are fucking like action-packed cliffhangers, I don't think they're going to do it many HBO doesn't do filler,
No.
Good.
right?
They
will
HBO
give you
is exact.
yeah, they'll give you a half an hour of gut-wrenching shit and then
Yeah.
leave you on the edge of a knife.
Money for more. Yeah.
Exactly. And then you'll be like, fuck, that was only a half hour? Ugh!
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing. I just hate episodic content.
How
give me it
many
all.
seasons do you think this show's got?
2.
You don't think they're gonna stretch it out to like 4 or 5?
Well, the second game, no, they're not. If they tell the full story in the first
Well, they
season,
did say, without any spoilers, anyway, they did say they're gonna make a third game. It's in the works.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that game is gonna come out before season 3 comes out.
They're gonna do like a Enter the Matrix thing.
Oh, please don't do that.
Shut the fuck up. That was an amazing game. You get to play as Jada Pinkett Smith and the other guy.
Yeah, I don't care.
No, that was
I know. I just don't care.
it was a great game.
Cool.
And it was directly referencing the movie, and there was movie clips that weren't even released yet because the movie hadn't come out yet that you get to see in the video game, and it was so well done.
Well, I
It was
don't think they're gonna do it for this game because
No, they're
because
not
how
gonna.
big the IP is.
No,
I don't think they're gonna
That's
allow.
not how entertainment works now.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, there's no way they're like, hey, yeah, you guys can spoil it for us. Yeah, go ahead. They're like, no, we're not doing that. So they are working on it. I don't know when the release date is. The same 2025, maybe. So when they say maybe, that means 2026.
Mhm.
And we've seen games that get delayed year after year after year.
I don't know. Well, with how good this has been received, the IP now just got probably an extra
Oh, yeah.
zero put
Well, that's
on
that's why I was
the
alluding to.
value.
I was gonna allude to.
So now they'll get as many developers and writers as they
Yeah.
want for the game. So
Well, now I'm wondering is greed gonna play into this now?
no,
Oh, everybody loves this. Oh, we only got story for 2 seasons. Let's go ahead and try to push for 5 here because we
okay.
got tons of money on the table.
This is HBO.
That's what I'm worried
and
about.
Who was it? Was it Naughty Dog who's developer
Dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Naughty Dog.
okay. Those are two entities that don't give a fuck if something's popular, and they will only release something when it's good.
Let's hope so.
No, I mean Naughty Dog, like even like
It's a shame because Naughty Dog.
apart from the Nathan Drake movie,
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I was just gonna allude to that.
but that could also be because that was their first foray into letting other people take control of their IP, as far as I know.
And
Or
they
one
picked
of
the
the-
worst dance partner, Sony.
Yeah, actually, that's well, I mean, that was their parent company that fucking released all their games. Not parent company, but that was the not
Yeah,
those who published them. Anyway,
I think
they
their
put all
hand-
their games.
I think
on
their
the
hand were
PlayStation.
dealt. They're like, you have to release it with us. You have
Yeah,
no
exactly.
choice."
They were like, "Oh, you want to put on a movie? You know, we have a movie
Yeah.
production house," and they're like,
Yeah.
"Okay, fuck, sorry, daddy." And so, but with how terribly that was received, I think they were like, "Okay," again with, and I bring it back to like Star Wars stuff is like when people who come in and they have a track record, and they go, I want to make this. I already made this thing that here's all of my homework. Oh, everyone loved this, and the audience loves this. I'm going to do it this way. And then the big company goes, okay, you've proven yourself. And now it's kind of the opposite, where Naughty Dog is being like, all right, Sony, you took over this, and people didn't just love it because it existed. So we're going to go with HBO, and they're going to fucking do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
So now both HBO and Naughty Dog, who are synonymous with putting out content that they fucking love because it's good and because they have a story to tell, I don't think either of them will be like, oh, let's do a third season where Joel goes to the Bahamas.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I've seen crazy things before where greed sets in and they want to stretch it out. Go ask the Game of Thrones. You know, before the pandemic, there were 7 sequels in the works for Game of Thrones.
Yeah, in the
That's
works
crazy.
just means
That's
they are
crazy
paying...
to think that.
No, but in the works means they are currently paying someone to write it and pre-production, which means they've got 4 people in a basement on computers doing some CG mock-ups and somebody to adapt a screenplay. So all that is like, I mean, that's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's still hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars being spent on this thing. But that's just a bunch of different groups just like, all right, flesh out this idea. Is this good? No? Okay, fuck you. Okay, how about this idea? No? Okay, fuck you.
Yeah, they have a couple that's going to be developing. That's in the development stage, not including the House of Dragons here. So there's 2 that are in the stage. One is a prequel. One is supposed to set in current after Game of Thrones.
I thought House of Dragons was a prequel.
No. I'm talking about 2 more.
Prequel to the prequel? Now they're going into Star Wars territory.
Yeah, I know, right? No kidding. One of them is the Aegon era of actual Aegon, which is the start of it all, and then there's one with Jon Stark continuing into the other side of the wall. So that's the other one that they want to do. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, people might get burnt out. If House of Dragons go for 5 seasons, you just had 10 years of this lore. You might get burnout, right?
Yeah, well,
there he goes. He pressed the mic on time. There he is again.
I got it in time.
You know, you can turn off the camera too. You can turn off the camera too.
That's 2 buttons.
Oh, that's
because you know what's going to happen, Nathan? At 2 hours and 32 minutes, we're going to clip this.
No, I won't.
Why?
Because it's not
I'm going to clip. Screw you. I'm clipping this.
All right.
I'm clipping this. That's a great moment.
There's just going to be a weird video of me sneezing on it.
Oh, I didn't mean I was going to put it on the internet.
He just wants that for
my
his
daily
makeup alarm.
I could put it into our Christmas video that we're going to put together, collage.
Yeah. Just have a compilation of Nathan sneezing. What a weirdo. Who sneezes? Ugh, who does that?
Disgusting. Hold it in, buddy. Yeah, so I can't wait for episode 2, man. It's going to be fun. Last of Us.
Should be good.
Yeah. Anything else before we wrap it up here?
Nope.
Nathan?
No.
Anything?
Nope.
So next week we'll be back again for Bad Batch episode 4. Is it
5? Yeah. This is
5.
4.
Oh God, yeah, it just felt like nothing. But yeah, episode 5. Hopefully it'll be a good one, not a filler. And then join us for all the other adventures that we have. You can go and visit us on our social media platform if you want to know what's going on with us. Everyone's pointing down there. They're not just pointing at me; they're pointing at below me here.
I mean, you're on the latest thing I posted, so
A&R Universe. Thank you for that, by the way. That was awesome.
Yeah, how'd you like that edit?
It was awesome. A&R hashtag dad jokes, the best thing ever. You know it.
Allegedly.
Oh yeah, dig it. All right, say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.